Yes, good people, big up to all of you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the Blue Morning Show, this particular edition of the Blue Morning Show. Once again, today it will be news, some reports that you can say may not be considered news. But the good thing is we're here to discuss a Chelsea Football Club. You can say we don't have too many items lined up to talk about, but we will talk about those. We will discuss those items at length. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. And more importantly, I do hope you're all doing well. Once again, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. I hope you're all doing well. Blue morning to you. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. It looks like I hope this is not a bad sign. Why is the screen frozen every now and then? Freezing every now and then. I'm not sure why that is the case. And we have to as my Kenyan bro. Welcome everyone. Welcome to YouTube, bro. I hope you're doing well. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And wisdom. Hello to you too. Sorry, the emoji you use, it doesn't look like the machine is able to interpret it. I'm still seeing some gibberish stuff on the screen. But that's by the way, we'll move on, people. Thank you once again for finding the time to join us on the show. Keep dropping the like on the stream. And quickly, I want to appeal to those of you who are watching, but for one reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the chat. Just know that we appreciate you because you watching alone does provide great value. And I want to appeal to you to once more, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream. The likes do go a long way. The more likes we're gonna, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered and forced to push the show to more people who will be interested in the topics we'll have lined up. We will talk about Victor Osimhen, talk about Gabriel Moscardo, and also talk about Roony Bardghji. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. And then other items we'll have lined up. Let's get into it without wasting much of your time. But keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let's see. Jerry Z, nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning or evening, afternoon, whatever it is for you. Much love to you. Thank you so much. And the first item we have the Victor Osimhen, the rumors linking Victor Osimhen with a move to Chelsea Football Club has refused to go away. I'm not too sure how serious that is. A few from a week ago or so, yeah, my response has always been at this point, it's all rumors, and I'm not going to change that right now because there's no way to confirm whether we're truly interested in signing Victor Osimhen, who we all know if we're going to buy him, it will be at a premium. But let's move on. It says that Chelsea have initiated contact with Napoli ahead of a possible move for Victor Osimhen, with Mauricio Pochettino pushing for a new striker as early as January. That part also, I don't know whether to say that's the truth. They're saying the truth, or if they are lying. There's no way to prove that's the case. So I'm just going to say at this point, everything, they're all rumors at this point until, we see the club make what we call a solid move for him, that we'll know, we're truly interested in signing him. Do I want us to sign him? I have my argument whether I'd like us to sign Victor Osimhen, or whether the club should look elsewhere. But if we're pushing to sign, if indeed we're pushing to sign him, and the manager really wants him, who am I to blow against the wind? If we can accommodate him, if we can make some adjustment and accommodate him, given the sort of striker he is, that's fine. And if the player himself can also make some adjustment and adapt to the way the manager wants to play to a certain measure, then I'm okay with it. So, by the way, more importantly, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We'll have just 8 likes. We'll have 8 likes, and we're 11 minutes into the show. Appreciate you all finding the time to join. Yes, we don't have too many people watching. We have 14 people watching right now, but I strongly believe that we can do better than that. So let's move on to the next item we have lined up, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes that do go along. We appreciate you all for that. Let's go. Right. The window is a bit slower than anticipated. But that's, by the way, also gone blank too. So this talks about Chelsea sent a new formal proposal. I didn't know we've sent any before. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Chelsea have sent a new formal proposal for the signing of Gabriel Moscardo. Corinthians, however, will only take a position on the offer made by the English after the presidential election on November 25th. I'm guessing Corinthians' own presidential election with regards to the board of the club. I think they're not specific enough there. You have to figure out by yourself. They are talking about Corinthians' presidential election and not the country's presidential election. Correct me if I'm wrong. Excuse me, but that's, by the way, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. And if you know Gabriel Moscardo, for me, from what I've seen, I think he's a very strong midfielder, combative, and he's not sure. So I think from what I've seen so far, you could argue he's capable of fulfilling the DM role, but he's more than a DM. I'd rather have him operate as a box-to-box midfielder. He reads the game very well. He's a very intelligent kid, and he's just, I think, isn't he just 17 or how old is he? I can't quite remember. I have to check. But he's a fine player, a good dribbler, has good passing range, can progress the ball very well, finds good solutions in tight spaces. So he has it in him. Let me just check his age quickly, and I don't mind the club signing him since that's the way we're going these days. If we're going to sign young players, I think we should sign them. If that's what we're bent on doing these days, I wouldn't mind us assigning Gabriel Moscardo. Just give me 1 second here. Gabriel Moscardo. Age, let me be sure there. 18. Yep. 18. So you can say I was correct. About the same age. So he's a fine player, very combative, not sure. Again, he has everything. He's a complete player. But I'm not sure what to make of it. I don't know whether this is this is reporting the truth or whether it's just people seeking for more clicks. I'm not too sure what to make of it right now. But if we sign him, I'll take him. Honestly, he's a fine player. But I think we have too many midfielders right now. I'm not too sure what we're going to do for him. Maybe send him to our sister club, which will be an issue too, because the Premier League will meet soon. I'm not sure what date to decide to block clubs from loaning players from the sister clubs or something like that, or affiliated club, or for lack of a better language. Jerry C, thank you for saying that. And Chama, nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join us this particular morning. I hope you're doing well, Chama. I know it'd be around the 16 a.m. for you because you're where you've told us you are. Nice to see you, Chama, again. Kachila, how are you doing? I can't complain. Yep, except what I said the other day. Lots of work going. We had water leaks that caused a lot of problems. Yeah, spending a lot to get it fixed and been busy with it so far, and it's not easy. But that's, by the way, we're here to talk football. But thank you for asking, Chama. I hope you're doing well too. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We have just 10 likes. I think we should be doing better than that because we have 17 people watching. If each of you likes the video, I think we should have more than 10 likes right now. Let's move on to the next item. If you know Gabriel Moscardo, you tell me, what do you think about the club pushing to sign him? I'd say, yeah, I'm all for it. He's a fine player, and at the age of 18, he looks way mature beyond his age. He's a fearless midfielder, Texan people with flair, actually. And usually in football, when you see players who have that much flair, they're not usually work hard. They usually don't work hard that much, but he has flair. He reads the game very well, has good passing range, can progress the ball no matter the situation, finds good solutions in tight spaces, and also very, very hard working in terms of pace and him running after players in cleanly. And he has a very clean tackle in him, cleanly um, uh, dispossessing the opposition and getting the ball. I like him, honestly. You could say he's a mashup of N'Golo Kante and also N'Golo Kante and what's his name? You can say, yeah, you can. I'm not going to add Enzo Fernandez to that. Let's say a mashup of N'Golo Kante and West Croatian international that now plays for and Kovacic. That's the sort of player he is. More hardworking than Kovacic, works hard as N'Golo Kante, but has the dribbling ability and ability and press resistant as Mateo Kovacic. He's that good. And hopefully we'll sign him. So let's move on to the next item, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. And did we addressed that and we address Gabriel Moscardo. Let's move on to the new item. Next item we have lined up here to talk about. And as soon as we round off, we can call it a day. And if you're in the chat, let me know how well do you know Gabriel Moscardo. Do you like him? Do you want the club to sign him? It'd be interesting to hear what you have to say. Yes, another wonder kid too, 17-year-old striker Roony Bardghji. I can't pronounce his last name correctly. With a hammer blow, a stunning finish to put Copenhagen four goals to 3 ahead of United. Wow. And he did overall. He played well. Not even without that particular goal that Vince is talking about here. If you knew him before that game, I've heard before that we were interested in signing him, but at the time I didn't know how serious we were in signing him. But he's an excellent player, and I'm going to keep saying this. If we're going to be signing young players, these are the sort of talents that I want the club to sign. Gabriel Moscardo and also Roony Bardghji. Or Bardghji, I can't pronounce his last name correctly. Excellent midfielder. You can also, for me, I think he can play as a forward too. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along. We appreciate you all. 13 likes, and we are 18 minutes into the show. We should be doing better than that. And once more, I want to quickly appeal to those of you who are watching, but for one reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the chat. Just know that we appreciate you. You watching alone does provide great value to the community. So thank you, and thank you once again. But we want to ask you for one more favor, one tiny bitty favor, which is to take a second and drop a like on the stream for us. The likes do go along with. So thank you so much for doing that. Kachila, yeah, I'm doing well. I've answered that question. And Phil Simpson's in the house. Mr. Phil, nice to see you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you too. So this says a 17-year-old striker. That's about the goal he scored against Manchester United. But here we have FC Copenhagen, 17-year-old striker Roony. I think he can play in the midfield position too, but he's a forward. Both he's versatile. Roony Bardghji is attracting interest from Chelsea following his performance this season, which has yielded 7 goals in 14 games. Not a bad return. And once again, if we're going to be signing kids, these are the sort of kids we should be signing. They're talented, and I'm still buzzing about Kendrick Pies. Moses Casado's a countryman, the kid at 16. Is he 17 already? I can't quite remember, but those are the sort of youngsters we should be signing if we're really into signing young players. That's right away. We move on to the next item we have lined up here. If you have anything or any question for me, put it in the chat and I'll do my best to address it. And you know fully well, I do not know everything, but I'll do my best. And if I don't have the answer to the question you ask, I'll let you know. And pardon me while I take a sip of my coffee. I'll be back with you. All right. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up here, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. This talks about what we talked about. Again, the question I was asking, yeah, I'm not too sure what we're going to do with too many. If we sign, if we're hoarding, maybe for lack of a better term, yeah, you could use the term hoarding all the young players. You said the best young talents in world football. What are we going to do with them? I think we'll have a problem. Aside from the rules, besides the rules, stopping clubs to loan out to players of a certain age. There's a limit, but for players under 18, I think you can loan as many as you want. But there's another problem here, and I think here's the thing: it just seems as if every time Chelsea finds a way to do good business, the Premier League clubs gang up against the club and push for a new rule to be introduced just to make sure we're not making progress. I'm not sure whether to see it that well, to see it differently. But here's the thing: this one here says a Premier League sides will vote at the next shareholders meeting on a proposal to fast track a ban. Pay attention to this: to fast track a ban on the loan moves for players between associated clubs in January transfer windows. Okay, they're being specific here. They're trying to introduce a new rule that will ban associated clubs. You could say sister clubs like us and Racing Club and Man City and New York. What's it called? That club, the satellite club in New York, or for lack of a better language. So they ain't trying to introduce a rule that will stop them from such clubs from loaning players from, for instance, Chelsea loaning players from Strasbourg. As I've said, it just seems as if every time Chelsea finds a way to do a good business, they find a way to make sure it doesn't work out for us as much as we hope it will. Because I don't know. It says Newcastle and Al Hilal fall into that category. So Al Hilal, so they are. I didn't know that actually. So they have, you could say, the sort of relationship, maybe not exactly, but I'm not well acquainted with the sort of relationship they have with Al Hilal. So if Newcastle also falls into that category, which means that they have some sort of relationship with Al Hilal, as do Man City, Chelsea, and many other Premier League sides which operate as part of multi-club models. I think even Brighton falls under that category. I think I've heard that the Brighton owner also owns a club in Belgium. But yeah, but now Chelsea has become a multi-model club. The new rules are being introduced, but chances are, since we have up to 4 clubs there. We have Chelsea, we have Newcastle United, we have Manchester City, and we have Brighton also. To me, I think, and probably you could say whoever is buying. I think there are many clubs like that in the Premier League. So chances are the rule will not pass, but we'll find out in due time. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. So far, we've talked about and the rumors are the report that Chelsea have initiated contact with Napoli ahead of a possible move for Victor Osimhen, with Mauricio Pochettino pushing for a new striker. Do I believe that? I'd say not too sure. And this one here, Chelsea sent a new proposal for Gabriel Moscardo, combative. DM like midfielder, can be box to box, and also for me, from what I've seen, I think he's capable of fulfilling the number 10 role. Let's see whether it works out. And we've talked about also, Roony Bardghji. What a player he is. I'm not too sure whether we're serious about him, but if we're going to be signing youngsters, those are the sort of youngsters I'd like us to sign. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And if you're watching, please, if you can, if you have an X account, do share the link on X so that more people can come join the show. Just give me 1 second. I want to take care of something here quickly. I'll be right back with you in a second. I bet you, again, 4 seconds probably. I will not be done well. But yeah, let me just do it quickly. Right, I'll be with you in a few seconds. Let me just say a second. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, while you wait for me. The likes do go a long way. It triggers the YouTube algorithm and gets it to push the stream to more people who'd be interested in the topics we have lined up here. 1 second, I'm looking for something here. Just quickly. Which one is that? What am I missing here? All right, there you go. Thank you for your patience. I'm back with you again. I keep dropping the likes. 19 likes. We should be doing better than that, people. Let's hear what those in the chat has to say. We have Tommy Bryan here saying, big up, coach. Funny that whenever Chelsea gets involved in some sort of a ways that benefits the club, meetings are held to stop us. Yeah, that's how I see it. It seems as if that's the case. Yeah, from us, you could say, I wouldn't call it a loophole. Our clubs has been doing it, and because probably we did it multiple times. We did it with Enzo Fernandez, and all the young players were signed, Mihailo Mudryk and others. And then everybody realized, wow, wow, whoa, stop it, stop it, stop it. No, no, we got to stop this. And that, yeah, they stopped that. And we weren't a multi club. We weren't you can say it was just Chelsea and Chelsea alone. No Strasbourg, the French team that we bought a stake in, and Man City have they started doing that before us. I think one of the club also. I think yeah, Brighton started doing that before us because the Brighton owner. I've heard that he owns a club in Belgium. Nothing was done, and I think you could argue Newcastle United were they sold before us? I can't quite remember. If that's the case, then they had a multi-club model before us. And then the moment Chelsea did it, it's a problem now. Yeah, exactly. It's very funny, really. And it just seems as if you say the narrative, or you could say the talks or the argument that it's an agenda against Chelsea is true. It just doesn't make any sort of sense that yeah, they find a way to you could say to do something about any situation. The moment Chelsea takes advantage of that loophole, maybe I don't think the one of the case of signing players on getting players to put pen to paper on a long-term contract as it's not a new and it's not even a loophole. But that's by the way we'll move on from that. And the next item says I'm Omaru from Uganda. Thanks for everything that you do. Omaru, thank you so much. And thank you for appreciating what we do here. Thank you so much, Omaru. Feel at home. Enjoy the show. All we ask of you is just to keep it civil, respect every other participant in the chat there. We appreciate that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let's move on to the next item we'll have lined up. And if you have any questions, drop into the chat, and I'll try the best I can to address the questions. And yeah, disclaimer: I do not know everything. Just to be clear, but I'll try the best to answer your questions. And yeah, if I cannot answer your questions, I will let you know. So let's move on to the next item we have lined up here, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. This one has me buzzing in a huge way. Chelsea are hoping to welcome back Christopher Nkunku from injury in time to start the Carabao Cup quarterfinal match against Newcastle United. What a comeback it will be for him, in my opinion. But do I think really Mauricio Pochettino will give him a chance? It depends. It depends on how soon he starts training with his teammates because he's training, but he has not been pictured on the grass. So we're not too sure how soon he's going to be really back. Let me just leave it at that. But it's some good news. He was pictured in the gym. So I need to see him on the grass. I need to see him training with his teammates. But the fact that he's already in the gym, it's a good sign. I think he's making great progress towards his return to full training, and I hope that happens as soon as possible. And we'll become even stronger. And let's see, Omaru, thank you so much. And it's the void. Big up to you, brother. Always nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join. And I haven't seen you in a while. The vibe. I hope. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this morning. Please do let me know. I hope your absence is because you've been busy and not because anything wrong has happened. Is he back on Nkunku? You cannot say he's back now, but he's getting there. He was pictured in the gym, wasn't on the grass. I want to see him on the grass. I want to see him start training with his teammates. And also at the same time, I want I want the club again. We've been told that also the club they don't want to risk anything. They want him to take his time to return to full training, not be in a rush to you can say to have him playing matches for us, it would be a risk. We don't want to risk a setback. That's a breaking news here. Just give me a second. I'll address that as quickly as possible. Give me 1 second here. Let me find it and share it with you. Just give me 1 second here. I'll find it. In the meantime, if you have any questions, drop in the chat. I'll be happy to address it if I know the answer to the question you have. And disclaimer, I'm going to say that because I've said it before. I do not know everything, but I'll try the best I can to address whatever question you have. Give me a second. I will open that in a bit. Okay, I'm going to keep going until that news is ready. Let's see what Tommy Bryan has to add here. The Nkunku is well timed. Nkunku's is well timed. Almost as though it was planned. The run of games he will be part of are winnable and will be great for his fitness, and also and help him. You could say help him gain confidence too, because usually when players come back from injury, you could say if his teammates are doing well before he comes back, you can say he needs confidence too to measure the sort of, you can say, the level of performance they're showing before he returns. But and right now you can say, we're doing well. If we do well against Man City, then he has to come back and show he deserves a place in the team, because you can't just drop a player and start playing him because he's Christopher Nkunku. I don't think that will be very helpful. Just give me a minute. I'm trying to find an update here. Breaking news. Where is it? Quickly, I'll find it and we'll talk about it before we move on to other items we have lined up here. While you wait for me, please keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Let's see. Yep, there you go. We have that particular breaking news up there. So we're gonna go to it in a bit. Let's see. Let's go. That is here is the particular breaking news here. It says the breaking news: the FA are investigating Raheem Sterling after he threw back a missile into the sports fans that was thrown onto the pitch as Chelsea celebrated the first goal. He could face a ban. Here's how I see it. As unfortunate as this report, this particular situation is, I honestly do believe that some Chelsea fans would want Raheem Sterling to be suspended so that other players that prefer to see our play be on the pitch for Chelsea Football Club get a start. In my opinion, I hope he doesn't. Again, I hope the FA doesn't suspend him. He's an important player for us, no matter how you see it. But that's, by the way, we move on from that particular item. Do I want him to get suspended? No. I'd rather the manager drop him and start much better players for us. In all honesty, I'm not too sure what to make of that particular situation. But hopefully, we'll fight. We'll see. But let me hear you. Let's see. A lot of people message in the chat. Jude, my bro, I hope you're doing well. He says, good morning, coach, and everyone in the community. Good morning to you too. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. So let's move on from the Raheem Sterling rumors report. All right. If you have anything else to add to or to say with regards to everything we've talked about here, you go ahead. It'd be interesting to see what you have to say. Let's talk about it. FA is like low show. They might just hand them a fine. I think they will. But the question is, why would they do that? I get it. Even if it was a missile from an opposition, coming from the stands of the opposition fans, he should know, he's experienced enough to know that he's going to get punished for throwing it back at the stand. What should do into the stands, what should do in such situation is to show it to the referee or any match official close by, or just report it. But now, a lot of Chelsea fans will be happy to see him suspended so that other players will start in his absence. But that's, by the way, we'll move on to the next item we have lined up here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. 24 likes. We should be doing better than that. And please take a second, drop a like on the stream. If you haven't, the likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all. So let's move on to the next item. Christopher Nkunku, we were distracted because, yeah, we had to address the breaking news there that just emerged. This says Chelsea are hoping to welcome Christopher Nkunku back from injury in time to start the Carabao Cup. Carabao, I think we've addressed this one. Let's move on to the next item close to that one. And this one also talks Chelsea plan on having Christopher Nkunku back at the beginning of December. And that's like, yeah, but let's say, it's still a month from now, in my opinion. Yeah, at the beginning of December, that we've always heard that before. It's nothing new. But we want him back as soon as possible. He's an important player. Hasn't played any official game for us, you could say, except for a club of friendlies during the preseason period. But he's an excellent player, and I can't wait for us to have him back. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all for finding the time to join the show. 36 likes. Oh, no, 24 likes. We should be doing better than that. If you haven't, please take a second to drop a like on the stream. And this says, Ban Sterling. Yeah, I knew you were going to be one of those. You were most definitely one of those. Most definitely one of those that would want to see him banned. FA are trying to stop us too. It's bad enough. Okay. Let me just not misquote you here. You don't want him banned. Let's see. Ban Sterling. FA are trying to stop us too. It's bad enough. We are playing against Anthony Taylor this weekend, and if they ban him, yeah, it makes sense. If they ban him, the suspension might takes effect immediately. So probably he's going to miss the Man City game. Do I want him to play against Manchester City? Maybe not. That's because the last time we played against City and he was on the pitch for us, he was awful. I think it was during the cup game. He was actually one of our worst players on the day, and I'm not too sure what to make, whether I want him to play against Man City or not. But yeah, I'm quite sure there are Chelsea fans who that would like to see him banned so that Mudryk starts. To be specific, it's bad enough. Yeah, I think I agree with you. But we move on from that. Yep, I want to see Christopher Nkunku return soon. But we should also be cautious at the same time. We don't want to risk a setback. If he comes back and injured again, I think the fans will turn on him. Because we signed him, and during he got injured in the France national team camp before the World Cup. That was why he missed the World Cup, and then he came back again. He came back and got injured again, I think so, when he was still before he joined us from Leipzig, and then he joined us and got injured again. So if he suffers a setback, I sincerely do think the fans will turn on him. And Jerry, big up, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the panel this morning. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're not going to be jealous of my coffee. And but that's, by the way, Jerry. What do you make of the possibility of the FA banning Raheem Sterling? And I want to see him play against City. I get it. The last time he played for us against City, he was one of the worst players on the day. But maybe he'd be, you could say, maybe he'd do better this time. I really do want him to play against City, because I'm concerned if the FA decides to ban him, the punishment will take effect immediately. Let's hear you if you have anything to add to that. And more importantly, I hope you're doing well.
Good morning, Kuchela. Nice to see you on the Good Morning Show. And the coffee
Nice
is
to see
good.
you too.
I get good vibes from your coffee. I plan to have it after 40 minutes. So yeah. As far as
Mhm.
that I don't like go below the belt for anyone, even opposing managers and players. So I won't say that I would like Raheem Sterling to be banned, but if he gets banned,
Mhm.
then I'm in the camp that Mudryk should start. So that will be like something that will be good, I would say, because Pochettino is so far is preferring Sterling, and he has done well, right? I mean, he is not consistent. This is the problem. The last game was a perfect example. Like in the first 10 games, like 3 4 games he has played very well, and 6 games he was at par, sometimes awful. In the last game, it's a prime example.
Mhm.
Half of the game he was really good, and half of the game he was really wasteful. So this is a concern, and as Roger, his cousin, says that he doesn't see him to improving further. So now I also have this reservation. It appears that this is his ceiling, and this is his level at this age, I doubt that he will like be consistent. But at the same time, yes, I would like him to play against City because this is the last game before the international break. And do you have the information like for how long will he get banned if this comes into fruition?
No,
How
they
long is
haven't
this?
mentioned. Probably a game, or maybe they'll fine him. There's a chance it will be just a fine, or just he pays the fine and
Oh,
that's it.
so
A
it's
fine
not
and
a.
that's it. But here's where I'm not happy with him. He's been in this game for a long time. He should know better. An experienced player as him should know that if it threw the missile back into the crowds, that he's going to get punished. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Right, right. But more than that, like we are worried about is like consistency in the play. Like if you see, many people have rated him, given him very good ratings in this game because of his assist and some of the runs and his involvement in the goals. But overall, I think he was wasteful. So many times he was offside in this game, and even the
Mm.
two penalties that we got, he was indirectly involved with them. Like with his mistakes, we were lucky to get like his when the ball popped up to Enzo when Romero like made the tackle, it was Raheem Sterling like his move like made the ball pop out, and again with Udugi, he made the wrong pass. He could not make the clinical pass, and then Udugi
Yeah, I
tried to
get you.
retrieve
Don't.
him.
Yeah, you're correct. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying, because your question also involved like some people will be happy. So, as I said, I'm not like I don't go below the belt for anyone, and that's why I don't accept that when people do, especially our fans for our players. But
Mm.
generally, like moving forward, I am in the camp of Mudryk playing. But having said that, Mudryk was disappointing in the last game, and probably because he came back from injury, he was having a momentum in the Fulham game, Burnley game, Arsenal game. Unfortunately, he got injured and he was lacking the run. In fact, it was a perfect game for him to play against the high line, especially with 9 men. He could have like hurt them on the counter, but all of his runs were not timed well. But it's okay; it's not a concern because he needs some time to adapt. So yeah, so I don't know if it's just one game, so it won't make any difference. Like for any of the people who are in Sterling camp or Modric camp, because it's just one game if he gets the ban, as you said.
Yeah, and if you've been following him since he joined Chelsea, I think Constantine Dante knows him too well. He's always said he performs every other 7 games. And yeah, it just seems as if that's the case. You see him, he performs in one game, and then before you see him perform well again, he be again the next six games. He's never been consistent enough. There's a good player in him. What has happened to him? I could tell I do not know. But I hope as long as he's with us, he turns it up every now and then. But here's where I'm concerned. Even when he's not performing, the manager leaves him on the pitch. That
Yeah.
concerns me, honestly. Yeah.
Um, I think Pochettino is just giving him time because we have too many injuries, in my opinion. Right? We don't know the reality.
Mm.
We're not there, so I'm just assuming because we only have few experienced players, and he's giving him the opportunity right now. And Mudryk is not ready, so it's not like straightforward. The reason is that Mudryk, we all know that is not there yet. He has the potential. He will probably be one of the best players moving forward, but he's taking his time. It will take some time, as we can clearly see from the last game. Mudryk will take some time to develop. So that is probably why Sterling has been preferred. And when Nkunku will come back, Palmer, and if Jackson keeps playing well, then it will be a good competition. So let's see what happens. But I'm concerned now. Like before, I was a little bit, but since I joined your community and been hearing about Sterling with all other analysts, and I always listen to everyone who makes sense and try to understand different perspectives. So I've been following the narrative or their concern on Sterling, and it's true. Like if you see what 12, 11 Premier League games, 3 cup games in 14 games, 13 he played. So it's very inconsistent. As you said, as I said, the last game clearly shows he had both good moments and bad moments in the same game. So it clearly
Mhm.
shows right here, and it won't. And the whole thing is the whole. I
Which
mean,
is natural, but his is too much.
the
No,
whole
no
point
play
is
is perfect. It's natural
if
that
we,
players you can say performs well and sometimes perform badly, but his is you can say his is too much really. But go ahead.
yeah, I mean the way he makes the. It's not that. I got the point, but sometimes a pass that is very easy and straightforward, he would completely bottle it, or he would ruin the moment. His dribbling, right? His link up play. So at moments when it seems smooth, very smooth, it seems that it's just a matter of a pass, or he's just there. The player is in front of him to make the pass. He would make the mistake, and it is happening again
Mhm.
and again and again. So I know that you're saying that it happens with other players, but I would disagree that not the how many mistakes he made or errors he made, and how many times he was in the dribbling, like he made the errors, and also in the final pass. If you see the stats again, right, it's on the higher side, so it's concerning. And the only thing is that I understand. It's not that I'm against him, but the whole thing is, if our plan is to eventually compete for the Premier League, Champions League in the next 2 3 years, so I don't see it happening with Raheem Sterling. This is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, unfortunately. Just give me 1 second here. Let me do this. But I appreciate you finding the time to join. Let me do this. I'm going to do something here. All right, there you go. Let's see. Catch up with what we have in the chat there. And Bobby, the GO80 is in the house, the greatest of all time, according to Kim. So, Bobby, I appreciate you finding the time to join. And much love to you, Bobby. Here, let's hear what Bobby has to say. Bobby here says, okay, a good day, Aja. Let me address what Aja has to, Mr. Onyedikachi has to say there. Big up to you too, Aja. I hope you're doing well. It's been a minute. Please do let me know you're okay. Okay, Bobby, take the time. Take all the time you need. We still have some time to go. Starling turns up like weather patterns. I think I agree with you. Yeah, today it's warm, tomorrow it's cold, and yeah, and the next day and the day after it is something it's something different altogether. Let's see. Love to all in the chat and panel. Much love to you too, Bobby and Constantine Dante. Appreciate you finding the time to join the show, brother. Yep, to Chilla as always. I love to hear again. I can't shout myself out. I would really like to be doing that, but I don't think it's appropriate. But that's why anyway we move on from that. Um, Bobby, let's come to you. We are talking about Raheem Sterling, the possibility of the FA banning him. The truth remains, hate him or love him. I think I'd like him to be available for us for selection against the game for the game against Manchester City. I think we've seen an improvement, immense improvement from him compared to last season. Last season he wasn't performing close to the way he's performed this season, although not consistently. But I don't want the FA to ban him because if they decide to ban him, uh, the punishment would take effect immediately. Hopefully, it would just be a fine. But Bobby, big up to you. I hope you're recovering well. And how's the treatment going? Let's hear you what you make of the Raheem Sterling situation. I think we'll take you back to the items we've discussed. We'll do a recap, walk you through everything we've talked about. So if you have anything else to add to this, but let's start you with Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, big up, coach. Big up, guys, on the panel and the
Big up to you
chat.
too.
As I've said, Raheem Sterling, ban him. Ban him for what? I'm missing something here.
Okay, let me read it out for you. Breaking news: the FA are investigating Raheem Sterling after he threw back a missile into the Spurs fans that was thrown onto the pitch as Chelsea celebrated their first goal. He could face a ban. He could face a ban. I'm hoping, if anything, let it be just a fine. Because my argument also, I think Jerry, I don't know if Jerry have talked about that too, is that given how experienced he is, he should know better than throwing such thing back into the crowd. But let's hear you.
Well, I find it amusing, isn't it? As usual with Chelsea,
Mhm.
everything they look at under a microscope, a fine tooth comb, any excuse, every goal we score is checked and double checked to see if they can find a reason to disallow it. Every action
Mhm.
taken. Look, yes, he's a mature player. Perhaps he should know better. But that was an emotional game, as Chelsea Spurs always is, and their fans are very hostile. They were spitting, they were throwing things, especially after the goal by Cole Palmer. They were throwing drinks. Um, it happened. Look, I don't know. I don't know. When they're looking at things, maybe if he did it, he did it. Yeah, will they make an example of him? Probably. Um, will they ban him? I hope not, because we are injury ravished enough. We play Raheem Sterling and rely on him so much in our attacking thrust because we have nobody else.
Yeah, that's
Nkunku
how low the
injured.
bar is.
Yeah,
Mm.
we have nobody else. He's not supposed to be given that level of responsibility on his own. He's supposed to be playing with someone. Nkunku injured. Brozier, does he even play football at all? Injured, always injured. Um, and these two key players are not there. Um, Carney, Chukwemeka, injured. The list goes on. So we don't have anybody else. And of course, they look for ways, especially with the absence of players. I'm beginning to rumble onto this now. The absence of players is a weapon and a tool used to weaken Chelsea. Now, is it deliberate? Not always, but sometimes I think it is. Chukwemeka was nobbled by West Ham. His injury was deliberate. And nobody cares, nobody says anything, it's not even mentioned. We have several Chelsea players that were nobbled. Nkunku nobbled by Dortmund in a friendly. That all goes unnoticed and nobody talks about it. Well, I don't know what to say. If they're going to punish him, as it were, a fine maybe I think would be acceptable all round, especially by Chelsea, by the Chelsea faithful. A ban I think would be spiteful because they know they're not hurting um, Raheem Sterling, but they're hurting Chelsea and they're hurting the Chelsea fans. That's all a ban will achieve. Um, it's a shame, but we wait and see.
Yeah, it's a shame. There's one more thing I want you to talk about, Bobby. Just give me 1 minute. I'll go back to that in a bit. I think it'd be interesting to hear what you have to say about that. But just quickly, let me say, shout yourself out, coach. I'm not that sort of person. That's not allowed. Not very smart. Not very smart of him. I get it. Even though they will, you can say, make the most of it because it's Chelsea Football Club. But he should know he shouldn't do that. Hopefully, it is a first offense only gets a fine. I hope he gets a fine. But here's the other thing I want you to talk about. Here's the thing. This one here, if you're still there, Bobby. And Jerry, I don't think I've heard you talk about it. It
Yeah,
just
yeah.
seems as every time Chelsea does something that every other club have been doing, or other clubs have been doing, it becomes a problem. For instance,
Hmm,
I wouldn't call it a loophole. How we sign
hmm,
players on a long-term contract, the incentivize or whatever amortization. I think that's the language. Other clubs have been doing it, and the moment we did it and did it for a few players, it became an issue. Even FIFA went, whoa, 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 stop! This is an issue. We have to close it. Now, pay attention to this. This says the Premier League sites will vote. Will vote at the next shareholders meeting on a proposal to fast track a ban on loan moves for players between associated clubs. You can say between sister clubs or between co-owned clubs. For lack of, you can use any language, just clubs. You can say just like us in Strasbourg, Man City and the New York club, and there are other clubs. It says Newcastle and Al Hilal fall into that category, as do Manchester City, Chelsea, and the many other Premier League clubs. For instance, Brighton. I've heard that the Brighton owner, he owns a Belgian club. So I don't know, because I'm quite sure Newcastle was Newcastle sold before Chelsea was bought. Was it? I think Newcastle was sold before Chelsea was bought by Bally and Co. Even if that isn't the case, the truth remains clubs have been doing that, and it was never an issue until Chelsea, you can say, started doing it. And probably they're saying we do things and we do things big. we do things in a big way, and they probably know we're going to buy more clubs, loan all these young stars that we've signed to them, and as they're maturing, we can go pluck some of them, bring some of them back in January. So now they're trying to stop the possibility of us bringing players back from Strasbourg. That's how I see it, in my opinion. But let's hear you, Bobby.
Well, they always find ways, don't they, to inhibit Chelsea's progress. Yet again, this is the spite against the club. They banned the owner. They stop certain transfer dealings. You give players long contracts. They stop that. It is spite, and anybody who thinks otherwise is deluded or is part of the spite. Has something to
Mm-hmm.
benefit from Chelsea not achieving their glory. Look, they don't want Chelsea at the top echelons of football. They have done everything underhand to stop it. It's about time we, as the Chelsea fans, expose this, and I'm glad we're doing that. Look, I don't know. I don't care. If they do that, fine. We find another way. It's quite simple. Either we sell to these clubs with a buyback clause. There are so many other ways. Football has to be a business. So if you block all arms of trade within the exclusivity of that business, you ruin the entire business for everybody. I'm sure Real Madrid, Barcelona, they all have their somewhat feeder clubs, especially Real Madrid in South America and so on. So if you want to keep being spiteful because of your hatred for one club, which is massive hatred because they've actually got governments involved, go ahead. Go ahead and ruin one of the best products we have, particularly us in this country, which is the Premier League. At the moment, Man City is dominating. Oh, they love that. But, when it comes to Chelsea building up and finding ways to have their share of the domination, they don't like it. I think it's pathetic. It really is. To me, my message to them: do your worst. I don't care anymore. Just mess up the game. It's fine. We'll find another way. And there are other ways. Or that Chelsea are very fortunate in that we've had two series of intelligent and caring ownership that actually want the glory of the club. I'm talking of Roman, and I'm talking of Blueco, this new lot that are owning the
Mm.
club. And if you're saying, oh, we can't loan to our sister clubs or fledgling clubs or so on, yeah, fine, okay. We sell to them with a buyback clause. It's just it's there's always a way. There's always a way. It's just that it may not be as convenient or as easy as a loan if you've completely sold, but sales in football come with contracts, and contracts come with clauses. So there are ways around these things. All they're just doing is making people find different ways. It's like they try to criminalize Chelsea for giving people long-term contracts. Have you ever heard of anything more ridiculous? You're doing your employees a favor. You're giving them longevity, you're giving them stability. And because they are good players, and it means you're going to have them for a while, these clubs start spitting feathers. And because it helps you spread your costs and absorb FFP, no, we want to punish Chelsea, always punish Chelsea. If we don't give them injuries, we use officials. If we don't use officials, we try to twist our own laws so they become penal laws. It's pathetic. We face more than competition on a football pitch. We face so many other avenues of attack that it's horrific. It's amazing. It really is, and it's something I'm really looking into. I'm like, why is this? This is a bit excessive because ultimately all we're doing is playing a sport. But to some people or to some groups, it is more than that. And I'm bemused. I'm not quite sure why. I think it's excessive.
Yeah, Heston, Constantine Dante, I get your point. Everything isn't about Chelsea, but the truth remains, if you pay attention to what has been happening, you have every right to think that's the case, really. But I get your point, really. But we move on from that. We have some breaking news that I have to share with you in a bit. Just give me a few seconds here. This says, big up you guys, big up to you too, Chelsea, meet your boy. Always nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join us this particular morning or afternoon for you. But Mitchell Boy, much love to you. If you're watching, if you haven't, you're doing yourself a disservice if you haven't subscribed to Mitchell Boy's YouTube channel. Onyedikachi YouTube, go check out his YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. He's my brother, and his selflessness, you say, towards this particular Chelsea community needs. We need to reciprocate that. I can't say that word, to help him grow to get to 10,000 as soon as possible. Big up, Mitch, even though I don't like you. Let's see, Dante. Let's see. Big up to you, the beautiful game. Much love to you too, brother. I appreciate you finding the time to join. The main target is Newcastle United, who are planning to bring Ruben Neves on loan. I think, no, that's because they're planning to do that now. So I wouldn't say their main target is Newcastle United. But it makes sense too. That may well be the case. I don't know. Ruben Neves on loan from Saudi Arabia club Al Hilal. They have some relationship with that particular club. So yeah, but let's see. I think it's more about Arab clubs. It sounds more like it. Yep, it sounds more like it. Al Hilal, Newcastle, then the Man City owners. Any other ones? I keep dropping the likes on the
Well,
stream, people. The likes.
in my opinion, coach, sorry to cut in, the Arab clubs are an added incentive, of course, because they have unbridled financial capability, and their FFP rules, I think, are slightly more lax. I don't even understand how it applies to them, or if it even applies to them at all, because they're not part of European football. So obviously, they don't go by the same rules. And I don't know whether the rules of world football, in terms of FIFA, stretch into that, or whether they even care because they have more money than FIFA. So there is an added incentive to that. But I think that it would be incredibly naive if somewhere along the line they don't look at this and think, oh, we can pop at Chelsea as well. So I don't think we're completely out of the firing line for these people.
All right. Yep. Keep dropping the likes. And Tommy Bryan saying, if this succeeds, Chelsea will buy young talents via their sister clubs. Good luck banning that. Yeah, we just end up buying them. If you say, yeah, we can't loan players from them, we just buy them. There's always a way. So it makes sense now. Good morning, my Chelsea family, straight from Jamaica. Chadrick Evans, Heights, and blessings, my brother. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join. Good morning to you too, Vix. And the Bluetooth again is saying if VAR took the 100 cameras that they pointed at CFC players and directed them towards the other areas of the pitch, instead, then perhaps they wouldn't miss the incident committed by Spurs and their fans. That's another way to see it, in my opinion. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. And Peter Pan is in the house. Mr. Peter, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Let's look at the breaking news I've seen.
The way Spurs fans behaved, we should be talking about a ban on the club. They were throwing things at Cole Palmer, Levi Colwill, when Chelsea scored. That is against the rules, and in fact, that could potentially be quite dangerous. But nobody's talking about that. You're talking about a player that reacted, and I would like to see footage. I'm sure it was a very tame response to whatever it is was thrown at him. And I'm surprised.
But we also have to agree, Bobby. He shouldn't be doing that. He's one of the most experienced players. Yeah,
100%. He's an experienced player. He really is. But I don't know whether you've ever been in a cauldron like that, where thousands of people are around you, cussing you out, saying things. And, adrenaline is high. I'm not saying, he should be far more disciplined. I totally agree. But, football's impulsive. And for him, that was a stupid impulse. But to me, I'm sure I would love to see the footage because I'm sure it's just handbags, meaningless stuff.
Yeah, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along. We appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. And Vic is saying, irrespective, Stalin should not be throwing things back at them. I get it. Yeah. I think we said the same thing. We all agree on that. But it will always be different when when it's Chelsea. So let's look at the breaking news here. And if you're in the chat, if you know him, tell us what you know about him so we can have a good conversation about him. Let's go. So yeah, this particular report here from PYS talks about Chelsea have submitted a new proposal to Corinthians to sign Gabriel Moscardo. No answer will be given until the end of this month due to presidential change in Corinthians. Yeah, I suspected. The other reports mentioned the presidential election. You will think they were talking about Brazil's presidential election, but I suspected at the time they were probably talking about the Corinthians' board presidential election. So this is saying no answer will be given until the end of this month due to a presidential change in Corinthians. Offer is above 25 million euros. He's a fine player. He's a combative midfielder. Has good intelligence. I think I've said this before. He's a mashup of N'Golo Kante and Mateo Kovacic. His ability to find solutions in tight spaces, his ability to beat the press effectively. He has good passing range in him. And as young as he is, wow, he's some talent. For me, from what I've seen, I think he can play as a DM and also can play as a box-to-box midfielder. Clean tackles from him, whether he slides on the carpet to get the ball, he gets it cleanly, hardly gets carded. If you know him, let's hear you. I think I'm going to say this again. If we're going to be signing young talents, let's sign Moscardo. Let's sign, what's his name? Let's sign Roony Bardghji, the Copenhagen player. Two excellent young talents. If we'll keep going, you say for the most sought after talents in world football, I don't mind if they're 14, 15, 16. At least they will mature at some point. But yeah, I'd rather we'll go for him than any other person. Or you can say all the players that aren't as good. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Roony Bardghji is a very good young talent. I would like to see him in our colors. And rumors are they were pushing to sign, were interested in signing him. Were actually crazy about signing him. I wouldn't mind him at Chelsea. All the clubs get fines. They throw on the pitch again. When they throw something onto the pitch a few times this season. But probably because we have not been paying attention. Can you pick the link to membership in chat as I cannot find it? Ooh, just give me a second, brother. I'll do that. Rooney put the fear of God in Manchester United last night. Lovely every moment. He played well, and that nail on the coffin. Wow, what a player. Constantine Dante, just Chadrick, keep on saying hello to you. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along. We appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Let's see what else we have lined up here. Christopher Nkunku, we've talked about him. I just do not want the club to rush him back. Take all the time you need. Then we'll start looking at some interesting comments from Mikel Obi with regards to Rafael Benitez and Mr. Roman Abramovich himself. Some interest in that. And if anything new pops up, I will share it with you. Let me see what else we have here. AD shared an update here. AD, thank you so much. As if you know, we don't have much to address this particular morning. The beautiful game here saying CFC should counter with an official complaint to the FA. Ironically, our fans abused Sterling at the pitch when playing for City, and we were punished. Where's the same energy for sports? I think probably will happen. They pay attention to all those things, but I get where you're coming from. Let's see what else we have here. I heard what the sports fans were saying and singing, coach. I didn't pay attention to that. I was just watching the game. That game was so intense. Honestly, it was difficult to pay attention to anything that's going on except for what was going on with the players throughout the duration of the 90 minutes. And beyond that, I didn't wait. In all honesty, and it's a bit too much dollar for this young guy. But we've paid more for even younger players. Honestly, they should be around a tenner from South America. But I guess we pay premium. We do pay premium. And also another argument to make is this: the South American clubs also know that they're a big market for the big clubs. So whenever they get such talent, they get them to put pen to paper for a new long-term contract. So when you come, they give you a price. And chances are, no, let me not say chances are. Actually, I've seen something to the effect of Barcelona being interested in signing him too. So not just Chelsea Football Club. For Christopher Nkunku, if we're doing well in his absence, I'm going to argue let's not rush him back in December until he's fully ready. But trust me, I think that's the way. That's the way. What's the name? That's the way Mauricio Pochettino operates. I don't think he'd be in a hurry to bring him back into the fold. Brighton at 10, Chelsea 25 million. You could say that, but in this case, if they go for a Moscardo, they pay how much they're asking for. Brighton usually go for that. You can say the sort of talents they go for are the sort of talents you don't hear too much about them. The talents under the radar. That's the sort of talents they go for. We go for the one that Barcelona wants, Madrid wants, Man United wants that player. That's the sort of talents we go for. That's why probably you could say part of the reasons why we pay premium whenever we go for young talents. This is saying, Coach, in the profile picture, you look like the football mafia. That's an important picture for me. A photo I took when I got my master's degree. But that's by the way. So I look cool. I'll take it. Let's move on. Anything else we have lined up here? And I'll try to. Okay, there you go. This one here says that Mikel will be on Rafael Benitez. I think he just made it. You could say this is beyond what we knew at the time. The only thing we knew at the time was that Chelsea fans didn't warm up to him, even though he won us a trophy. Even at that, they didn't want to warm up to him. They respected him because he won us. Again, you can say we respect him because he won us a trophy, and he did relatively well. But we knew at the time that we're never going to love him. We were never going to start loving him. And here's Mikel saying that Mikel will be on Rafael Benitez. I think there was something about Rafa and the fans. The fans didn't take to him. Same as the players, we didn't accept him as one of us. That's the part. We knew this. We've always known the fans didn't want to warm up to him. But the part that I didn't know, same as the players, we didn't accept him as one of us. JT got together by himself and decided, your time is gone. Wow. That is some comment here. And I'm quite sure if this isn't the truth, he wouldn't be saying it. Because all the players will hear about this and then refute him if he lied about it. But Bobby, before I get you to speak about this, okay, Bobby's gone. Maybe Jersey would want to talk about this, but I'll find out from him in a bit. Even the Italian clubs buy from South America 5 million max. Same with German clubs. They don't pay much, and a lot come good. I think it makes sense too, but you can argue it depends on the ones that they look at, but I'm not too sure. That's just me, my opinion. Silva is old, so he doesn't intend to look for a replacement 39, the midfielder. Okay, can you let's please the sky's blue, the Chelsea Blues. Let's try and stick with the topic so I don't skip your comments. Coach is who? Don't do that to me. Bastoni, Inter Milan. Nice to see you there. Derisi, if you're still there, brother, what do you make of this from John Michelobi?
Yes, sir, I'm here. So I don't know. The timing is a little bit odd. I would like to know the context and why did he feel to come up at this moment to state, because
he was interviewed on Talksport. Maybe was
Yeah,
asked a question with regards to Benitez's reign at Chelsea, and he responded with that. But even at that, I
yeah, I got
think
it.
but let's hear you anyway.
What I'm trying to say is that because as you know, like in the last few days before the Tottenham games, like Pochettino was also receiving a lot of negativity. So I'm just trying, and the Talksport and all of the media channels would try to cash in with everything is going on. So that's why I was seeing the timing of this, right? So
Mhm.
I'm just assuming that it has to do with Pochettino, that if Rafa Benitez was not accepted, and I will sadly have to say that Pochettino is not being accepted by the Chelsea fans at large. Even though he won at Tottenham, he celebrated the goal. He was on the touchline much more than any other game. He was really determined, desperate, I would say, to win at Tottenham. But before the game, as everyone was like, maybe he's not interested to win at Tottenham Hotspur. Or he's talking so much, he's not focusing on the game. So
Or
even
maybe
after the
immediately
win,
after we considered the first goal. Yeah, go ahead. Immediately after we
there's still no talk.
considered the
There's
first
still
goal,
no
people
talk
start
about
saying some nonsense. Yeah.
that Pochettino won at Spurs, that he is a blue. No one is talking about this. All these people that uh, I don't have so many everywhere, left, right, and center, that are talking nonsense. They disappear whenever something happens, and even this result is being criticized. I was on Michiba show and I analyzed. I couldn't join your show because of obvious reasons. I was not available for 2 3 reasons because of some disciplinary things that were going on. So I just came back. So we played well. We were better than Tottenham from 15 till 20, 33rd minute with 11v11. So people have this narrative because they started well, so we were so bad. Anyhow, I'm not saying we were magnificent. It was not really a great display, but we won, right? same
Mhm.
people same people were complaining in the 10 11 games that we are good, we don't care because we are not winning, we don't care about data, we don't care about stats, we don't care that we were the better team in almost most of the games, apart from one game against Nottingham Forest. So I don't remember. So we were better team. People were like, we don't care, we don't care, we need the result. Okay, in this game, okay, let's admit that we were not the better side, but we won. Right now, it's all about the performance. So you see,
Mhm.
if they have an issue, they should be at least consistent, right? So every time they're spinning the narrative, so it's obvious to a common person that's what's going on. So for Pochettino, I'm just saying that maybe the Talksport asked him this question in relation to Talksport, because I will have to go and see more of that. Uh, so I don't know. Like as we all know, that Pochettino was not welcome. You know better than me because I was not at your show when he was signed in April, but I joined in June in your show. So we all know that Pochettino earlier was not well received, and even from the first game up till now, whenever there is a loss, whenever there is any issue, whenever there is any like bad result, people jump on him. So they really jump on him brutally, right? So this is a concern. I just want to say, I don't know like what will happen in the future. The relationship between Pochettino and Chelsea fans as large is not healthy, I would say. I know results can change, but the thing is that it's totally a conditional relation, and it doesn't work like that. It's like a conditional thing. It's not unconditional. What I'm trying to say is, I know it has, to a certain extent, it has to be conditional. But if a manager goes to United, Liverpool, or any other manager would have come to Chelsea, people back. Still people are backing Ten Hag to a great extent, which is surprising. If it was the case at Chelsea, he would have been sacked. People would have brutally, turn on him. So just to conclude, thing is that because he served at Tottenham, and I know and I respect that, being a Chelsea fan, the animosity and what we had, but now he's working with Chelsea and he's putting his tears, sweat, and blood, in my opinion, the playing field. He's working hard. If we can say he's not working hard, he's just toying with us, sure, I would be the first one to go and unleash on him. But he's working hard. He's not a North London bred and born. He is an Argentine, and Tottenham had to be was a club that was a part of his transition or coaching journey. He took the job Chelsea wholeheartedly, and he wants to be successful here. So what? And if the fans are not accepting it, then I'm not blame, but I said the owners and the sporting directors should have put more work into it. So yeah, I mean, this is, I'm not making it up. You know that the relationship between Poch and the fans are still not there. Apart from the Luton Town, in one incident they were just singing his song in the third game. There is no Pochettino song, and where are the song of these young players? Every other club have song and lyrics. So we are waiting for things to happen. Give them the support, man. And they're just not Pochettino. All these young players, they need support. If we all have identified that it's a new team, it will take time to develop, and it's a general understanding and a general consensus. Then why do fans have such problem? Give them the support. Don't you think, if and hopefully I believe these players will be successful, don't you think these players will have it in their heart once they'll be successful, that they were not at all backed by the fans and supported by the fans, but really abused by them? So this is all I can say in relation to this Rafael Benitez news that you
All right,
shared with
thank
me.
you so much. I appreciate that. I'm gonna go to Bobby to hear what he has to say. But he has seen Constantine Dante. Do I like his music? Yeah, but I get it. It depends on who you ask. Yet, nothing wrong with that. But I'm gonna move on from that. Really, I don't want to talk about him. Move on. Yeah, way too much tappings here. Mikel once said Benitez was the worst coach for lack of communication. He rated Ancelotti as the best. I don't mind him. I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised at that. And that's because Ancelotti actually liked Mikel so much. Yeah, he liked him so much. Him was the Brazilian World Cup winner, also liked him. Ancelotti was one of those who argued he has to be playing to gain more experience. If I remember, what's that Brazilian? I can't quite remember his name. So I'm not shocked at that. Okay, yeah, we love him as a singer, yeah, but whatever else, yeah, forget about it. Bobby, let's hear you. What do you make of this Mikel's comment with regards to Rafael Benitez's time at Chelsea? The part of the fans not warming up to him, nothing new there was revealed. But the part of the players are clearly not wanting him. I didn't know much about that, but let's hear you. I didn't hear anything as such at the time.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of that, wasn't there? And I think a lot of that was around the fact that he was benching John Terry quite frequently. And John Terry was extremely influential in the Chelsea dressing room. I mean, talk about a captain's influence. I mean, he had that and some. Um, Terry was massive at Chelsea, and benching him wasn't something that could be done easily, even if at times he could be right, because I think Terry was coming towards the twilight part of his career. Although Mourinho came back and somewhat revived him and so on, but and also gave him a role on the bench or in the dressing room. But it took some courage, to be fair to Benitez, for all it's worth, to be benching Terry in favour of David Luiz and Gary Cahill as a centre back partnership. So that's just football politics. In terms of Mikel, yeah, I mean, there were times where, you see, no player's going to like being benched. And the Chelsea dressing room was so player dependent because of the frequent change of manager, that any manager coming in and upsetting the core members of the team wouldn't find it easy, because they would kick back against him. I mean, there were many a time where John Terry
Mhm.
would be very vocal against Rafa Benitez. So I'm told. I mean, I wasn't in the dressing room at the time. So these were big characters. That's why we were so successful. So, what can I say? I don't doubt what he's saying at all. I think there were player agitations towards Benitez, for sure. I wouldn't quite call them player revolts, because these players were such ardent winners that they wouldn't revolt against the success of the team, like the last set of Chelsea players, that most of whom we got rid of. They kind of down tools and became apathetical. These guys would never do that, in my opinion.
Let's see about at the time there were lots of talks about what Benitez said when he was Liverpool manager. That was a huge issue for
It
Chelsea fans
was.
at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Benitez really, he went too far and he underestimated English football sentiment. There's a lot of huge sentiment in English football. There are certain managers that can't manage anywhere else. For example, what's his name? Alex Ferguson. Done. He couldn't manage anywhere else, even if he wanted to. He could do, I guess, but he would. It would be an uncomfortable period of time because he's so ingrained in Man United. Same with Arsene Wenger. Right now, I mean, I'm going too far back now, but currently, Jurgen Klopp, as good as he is, anywhere he goes, it could be a problem for him, especially to another top club, because of some of the things he has said, and especially to a club like Chelsea that they tend to like to attack. Um, Rafa Benitez came at a time of huge, I think, biggest rivalry between Chelsea and Liverpool. Chelsea fans were embittered by the ghost goal in the Champions League semi-final because we felt our name was on that trophy long before we actually had that trophy. And I believe it was true. And we were kind of robbed of the opportunity to win the trophy. And you know, that ghost goal really embittered the fans a lot. It was difficult to take. And then for Benitez to come out with his comments afterwards about the club, it just further made the fan base, I don't want to use the word hate, but I would say really dislike him. So when he came to the club, you know, he was on the back foot. That's one of the things that Pochettino um, was dealing with, and I was one. You know, I didn't want him because of that Spurs background. But fortunately for Pochettino, I don't recall him ever really saying anything about Chelsea. So though he was a Spurs manager, he didn't really say anything about negative about Chelsea. He was often on the receiving end of a few hidings from Chelsea. And when he joined Chelsea, he said all the right things and did the right things in pre-season. So he kind of got a bit of a leeway. Whereas Benitez said some pretty inflammatory things. And when he joined Chelsea, he upset the dressing room and he was distant. He was distant to the players. And when he tried to embrace the fan base, they weren't having it. And sometimes I felt a bit sorry for him because he wanted to be liked at Chelsea. He really did. I could see it in his body language, but you know, and I think even the backroom staff, you know, Chelsea then, you know, we had a very close, strong backroom staff, and I'm not sure they really took to him either. So it was a miracle he managed to win a trophy with us, to be honest. And I think most of that was down to the sort of character of the players he had more than his ability as a manager.
Yeah, thank you so much. I agree with you. It's a bit hard to warm up to Benitez just by hearing him speak. Yeah, speak about Chelsea and and his look. Mourinho isn't a nice man in terms of the way he talked about Benitez, how he eats and his weight and all of that. That was hilarious to witness. They could say the exchange between him and Jose Mourinho. I would disown Chelsea if Klopp came to Chelsea. The fans will. I think I will not take Klopp at Chelsea. Me too. He said so much about us, whether indirectly, whether directly, just making fun of us. And the last one backfired spectacularly. He talked about how much we're spending in the market, and then wanted to pay that much money for Casado, but we didn't let that happen. But that's, by the way, most of the German coaches are weird. You could say that too. Let's see what else we have here. We need to call it what it is. a business relationship. There were no hugs and kisses. Rafa said, "Give me two trophies, and I will give you medals." The deal was done. Simple. So far, he's won a modern punch. Yeah, you could say that. But yeah, his days, time at Chelsea was something I just don't want to remember. Chelsea is doing wonders right now. Just that we need to be behind the team with more encouragement and a confident building. Lamin Bass, I think I agree. We have to support them, and they also have to perform. I get it. You can say, especially the match going fans need to be the 12th man, but you have to give them something to work with. You have to show, yeah, you have to show that you're working to get result, and they'll get behind you. If you sulk, it'd be difficult to get them to get behind you. You also spoke about a Spurs and United, but still joined them. I agree, but I'm still. Again, I'm not going to disown Chelsea, but I'm not going to be happy if Jurgen Klopp joins Chelsea Football Club. He said a lot of nonsense about Chelsea Football Club, in my opinion. Uh, yeah, sometimes again, but let's see. I don't think he gets to manage
The,
Chelsea actually. Yeah, go ahead,
no,
Bobby.
I mean it's highly unlikely, honestly,
Hmm.
and it'll be a tough gig for him. The Chelsea fan base has somewhat changed because, dare I say, that the I think a lot of the passion and fanaticism may have been, and I use this word very carefully, may have been diluted by the fact that we have a broader, um, um, that may I say, foreign fan base. Now that doesn't diminish the fact that the foreign fan base are not an important part of the modern Chelsea. Of course they are. I think the foreign fan base is crucial, and the foreign fan base is more than embraced by the, quote unquote local fan base like myself. I think it's so important, and I think they do a lot. When Chelsea go to United States, you see the kind of support they get there is astonishing. The last time we went to Australia, you see the support you get there is magnificent. And I'm noticing a lot of our African fan base support. Nigerians, South Africans, Ghanaians. It's a little bit different, a little bit impatient, a little bit critical in a certain extent, but there is a swathe of huge support. In fact, they're probably more fanatical than we are here in the UK. So that is not a disparaging insight on the fan base. Why I say it may, and I could be wrong, I'm saying that because I know how the UK fan base, especially the match going fans, feel about the club. And I know that if Klopp stepped into Chelsea, boy, he's going to have to win a lot to win. I mean, people, we don't forget these things, and we don't love clubs like Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal. Man, he really does great Chelsea fans. So it will be hard for him. He's not going to have the leeway Pochettino's having, for example. No matter whatever type of team squad he has, he will have to hit the ground running, and he would have to wear a I don't mean this literally, a bulletproof vest in order to have the skin to take the kind of hostility. It may not be open hostility, but it will be cold. It'll be very cold, because the fans won't like him. And if he loses, or loses to Liverpool, oh my God. So I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. Whereas some of the foreign fan base may just be looking at his winning record and think, oh, this guy could come and do it at Chelsea. It doesn't always work out that way. You don't always duplicate what you did at another club at a new club, because sometimes the chemistry is different. So nah, Jurgen Klopp to Chelsea, if ever that was an option, I'm not sure that would be a good option. I think we're going down the right road, and I think we have to hold faith with what we've got, because I think he's going to get it right. I think Pochettino may eventually become one of the greatest managers we've ever had.
Yeah, the possibility is there. And quickly, something I want to say, given what the Bluetooth game is saying that Jose spoke about Spurs and United, but still joined them. Here's the thing: I think if you're a big manager, if you've won a lot, if you're capable of winning big trophies, rival fans don't mind that much. Yep, they don't mind that much. And I think Roger, Bobby did say something similar to that. So Mourinho, let's say if Pep, forget whatever he said about Chelsea, about United, if they get the opportunity to hire him, the fans won't have a problem with that. They only start asking
Yes.
questions if you haven't won that much, or if you're not that big of a manager, then your whatever you send about the clubs will be the highlight of you that they know of. But if you've won a lot, then what you've won will be the highlight. But go ahead, Bobby, if you wanted to say something.
That's another dimension. You're so right, Coach. There are certain managers, and I'll use the phrase tier one. There are certain these managers you're talking about, tier one managers, Jose Mourinho, Pep Guardiola. These are rare, extremely successful, tactically proven
Mhm.
individuals. Now, they can walk into any club. The fan base may not particularly like it because they may not like their history and they will be insistent that they duplicate their success at their clubs. And once things
Mhm.
start getting wrong, they're on their backs. Like Man United fans, they didn't spare Jose when it wasn't quite happening, because of his background and his Chelsea affiliation. But they kind of get a bit of a pass. You've got to be real tier one to get that pass because the fan
Yeah.
base is, it's not, especially at the top level of football, the rivalry is just excessive.
Yep, I do agree. Let's see what else. Michi is back in the house. A big up, Michi. Let's see what he has to say there. Michi here saying that he thinks half of his subscribers are Africans. Yep, lots of football lovers there. And become a member, people. Michi, you asked for the link. There you go. You have it there in the chat. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up here. Which is this one before we go to the players' comments. Lots of some delicious comments there from Casado and Enzo Fernandez also, that gives you hope that these players are here to stay, that they are well aware that it's going to be, it's going to take time. And if they are willing to be patient for things to click with the fans that should also be patient for things to fall into place properly. John Miguel B on Roman Abramovich. He talks about this amazing owner and football man as well. A lot of people, this part is the most interesting part of the whole thing, Bobby. He says a lot of people thought he was going to be this owner who just threw money at the club and wasn't involved in the day-to-day activities. Yeah, he wasn't at the club every day, but boy, he knew what was going on every day. Every game, he was always coming into the dressing room, whether we win or we lose or we lost. He was always there. That highlights. I get it. The issue we had on the you can say ground Potter was that we were so poor, everything was an issue, and the media, especially the Twitter journalists, are just putting out everything they know that the Chelsea fans will suck up to, and that's because we were vulnerable at the time, and they were exploiting Chelsea fans' vulnerability at the time, and it worked for them. So they were saying all sorts of nonsense, talking about the new owners going into the dressing room and all that. But yes, it's nothing new. He wasn't at the club every day, but boy, he knew everything that was going on. Every game, he was always coming into the dressing room, whether we win or lost. He was always there. He would just say, "Sorry, I know you guys did your best, but next time we have to win." Yeah, he always wanted to win games. Just one more paragraph. He wanted
Yeah.
to win games. For him, it was about winning games. The only thing with him is that when you saw the helicopter flying around the training ground, you know that the manager is going to be sacked. Let's hear you, Bobby. You heard me read everything. Let's hear you about what you make
Yeah,
of it.
Coach, honestly, yet again, this is another example of the spite against Chelsea. I call it Chelsea spitefulness. Roman Abramovich was always in the dressing room. Many a time before him, Ken Bates and Colin Hutchinson would be frequently in the dressing room. It's not abnormal. It's nothing new. Man City's owner, their chairman's always in the dressing room. If you own a club, you have every right to do that. You have free access, and they trying to, you see this, trying to diminish Chelsea, trying to make it into an issue, and then you use it to poison the fan base against the ownership when things aren't going well. Oh, they're always in the dressing room trying to tell the manager what to do. That is a lie. That is a lie. They're in the dressing room because they own the club, they're concerned, and they're interested in what's going on. And I would rather have people like that than the Glazers, for example, who I'm pretty sure are nowhere near the dressing room. But even they pop into the dressing room every now and then. You know, these things that people use to stoke up disunity, disconcertion, they're looking to try and make Chelsea fans come out with placards like Man United fans are doing, out with the Glazers. They want them to say, "Oh, out with Todd." But all this garbage. This is no. There has been no greater time in Chelsea's history for us fans, ownership, team, management to stick together. We've got to pull ranks together because we're going through a difficult, almost, it is an unprecedented rebuild. It has never happened before in football, not just English football, global football, what we're doing after what happened to us. So allowing the poisonous part of the media to drop these seeds of discontent into our midst is something
Mhm.
we got to be smarter than that. We've got to push this garbage out. I'm glad Mikel came out with that because it was true. You know, Roman was always. I would remember back in the day when they're having these pitchside interviews. Roman would always, after the game, you see him crossing the pitch to go into the changing room. It is nothing new whatsoever. But there you go. I'm glad it's called out, and we have to really see it for what it is.
Because a lot of people at the time were just saying Roman doesn't go into the dressing room like that. Some are saying you only see him when he wants to fire a manager. Some were saying at the time he only goes into the dressing room when we win. But Mikel clearly says, yeah, every game he was always coming into the dressing room, whether we win or lose. And the owners have every right, after spending that much money buying the club, and the own players have every right to go into the dressing room and say, we don't like this. I'm quite sure they will not come into the room and stop the manager and say, wait, I want to say something. No, they're not kids. They'll give the manager time to do his team talk, and then they'll say, yeah, listen, we don't like this. And it's nothing wrong in
Coach,
that. But at the time we were vulnerable and they were exploiting our vulnerability at the time. Go ahead, Bobby, if you wanted to add to that.
Absolutely, that's the word. They were exploiting the vulnerability and the concern of the Chelsea fan base to sow further seeds of discord and to try and promote or stoke flames, to disorganize the club even further. It's very malicious. Roman was going into the dressing room. Remember when we had away European games when he was banished from the country? He was still going into the dressing rooms. He popped in there in Baku when we won the Europa Cup.
Europa Cup,
And he was there.
yeah,
Yeah,
Europa Cup, yeah.
he was there for the Champions League finals. I mean, these were high-profile exposés of his coming into the dressing room, but he was coming into the dressing room for other games, other knockout games, and so on. He was there for the World Club Cup. Roman was always there, and this is something that some of the more I don't know. I think some of our fan base, when they get hurt or when they get panicked, they the way the therapy they give themselves is to attack the club, which is it's an odd emotion for me because I was born in and brought up in an era where we were brought up to support the club no matter what. when we were relegated, boy, that hurt. Playing in the old Division 2, that hurt. At one time, we were nearly sent to the old Division 3. Things went that bad. But you still supported the club. You still went on out on the stadium, and even though you're watching some of the most shocking and most appalling football you've ever seen in your life, and you want to go and box the living daylights out of some of the terrible players we had in that time, you still sang for Chelsea. And later on, maybe let off some steam, but you still supported the club. But we have a set of fans that think support is attacking and knocking and hitting out at the club, not knowing that sometimes you're being coerced into that position by people that want to destroy your club. And you've got to be wise and see where it's all coming from and see what it's about. And this is an example of it. I'm glad you brought it up, Coach.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I saw it and I felt like we need to talk about it because it tells us a lot. A lot of people who took that narrative and ran with it, creating division within the fan base, just looking for something that to hang on to and blame the owners. I needed my workstation to be stable now, and then I'm back. If you need me to help with anything, you reach out, bro, so that we can have a conversation and how to make it great. If you need yeah, we'll talk about that behind the scenes. Well, Michi, thank you so much for becoming a member. I cannot thank you enough. I will reciprocate. I can't say that word. Again, well, Michi, last time I was on your show, I wanted to gift membership to people, but I couldn't find that option. Maybe because I'm a channel owner too. I'm not too sure why that was the case. But more importantly, Michi, thank you for always selflessly supporting this channel, and I'll be do the same in equal measure, so if not even more. But much love to you, brother, and I want to see you. Yeah, let's do that. Let's work on that. Jackson needs a confidence. He got pace, but maybe needs more strength and a finishing. And please, Peter Pan, keep the topics aligned if you want me to read whatever you have lined up here. So we move on to other items. Yeah, if not for this emerging news right now, chances are we'd be right enough by now. We'll be taking them one by one. Player comments that tell us a lot. And what we have to learn from the players' comments here is if they are patient as we're learning that they are, and how well you can say they are. You can say they understand the project so well. They know it will take time. They're not too concerned. They know we're not there yet. But they're confident that we will get there. We, the fans, should do the same. And again, if we're being truthful to ourselves, the Prince is here. Big up the Prince. Always nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show, brother. It's been a minute. I hope things are going well on your end. And we have a Joseph Oharian, a big up people. Mr. Joseph, nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join us this morning. Let's start looking at this. Bobby, it's you and I on the panel today. This particular report here, let's read it. It says, Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez calling him. I think there's a pattern to that. The new owners, I think they're into players, our current players, reaching out to our potential signings and talking with them, trying to help convince them to come join us. So this one right here says Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez are calling him to join the Chelsea Football Club. And he says it was nice. It was nice. I mean, the fact that a world champion was phoning you, one of the best midfielders in the world, receiving that call was very nice, and he convinced me to come to Chelsea. Part of it. I get it. Moises Caicedo has always been a Chelsea supporter and has always wanted to play for Chelsea. Yeah, but Enzo Fernandez calling him, you can say, was also a factor. You can say that convinced him. He said it was a great club, that there are many young players here. Many young players. There was a togetherness here. I have also enjoyed the bond in a team, because I think that if there's that bond, we can deal with any situation. We may face a pressure. We may face pressure. Yep. Everything. So that's what motivated me to come here. Now I am enjoy playing alongside him in training as well as in rondos. Yep. We are always together, so I am happy and I am trying to do things better every day. As Enzo said, to be a good example for everyone at the club. They want to lead, and I like that spirit. I like this place. Just 1 second, Bobby. Yep, the princess in the house, and big up my new moderator. I remember the way he asked that. He said, "Please modify me." Yeah, Joseph O'Hara said, "Please modify me," and you modified him. That was hilarious. So Roman is a capone for him to have told Mikel I could send men down to Nigeria to rescue his dad from kidnappers, even when he was away in the World Cup and not playing. I think it was about paying, but I understand. But Bobby, let's hear you. This comment here from Moises Caicedo with regards to how Enzo Fernandez called him and told him how good things are at Chelsea that he should come. That's a factor, no matter how anybody sees it. But let's hear you. And it's a good approach, really, because players respect players. You there, Bobby, or did we lose you? Okay, looks like we lost Bobby. I'm going to move on to the next item. If he sorts out his audio issue, he can come back. So let's move on to the next item. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Okay, Mitchell Boy wants to come onto the panel, and I cannot say no. I think what I'm going to do is actually add Mitchell Boy to the panelist group. He should be a member there. But usually I'm a bit reluctant to add people that own their own channel, so some don't see it as if I don't know what comes to mind whenever I'm reluctant to do that. But I'm going to add Michi Boy to the panel because I'm a member of his own panelist group there. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. It looks like Bobby is struggling with his audio. Correct me if I'm wrong. I hope you guys are not hearing us both talking over each other. Let me make sure that's not the case. Is my audio working? I'm going to check in a few seconds here. Is it working? My audio is working perfectly, so I'm quite sure you're hearing me. Yep. I agree. Let's say Romano was an owner that cares a lot about his players. What a miss. Yeah, but I think we'll come good too with our current owners. And one thing I like about him, he respects the players quite a lot. For instance, when who was it that wanted to join? It was Petr Cech that wanted to join Arsenal because he wanted to stay in London because of his kids. He said let him go. Who was it again? I think when Eden Hazard wanted to go to Real Madrid, yep, he said just let him go. And I respect him, and I respect him so much. Michi, I appreciate you joining again. Always nice to have you on the panel. Yeah, Michi, let's hear you. I don't know if you want to start with this. Anything you've heard us talk about. We talked about this. The owners going into the dressing room. How Mikel talked about that. You can say just showed us that Roman did it too. Whether we're losing, whether we're winning, he comes to the dressing room and makes his voice heard. If they've lost a game, he tells them, yeah, I know you guys did your best, but next game we must win. And so, or if you want to start with this one, wherever you want to start, let's hear you, Michibo. And big up, and thank you so much for joining.
I've not got an issue with the owners going in the dressing room. The crux of the whole thing is they can't undermine the coach in any way. As long as they're not undermining the coach, nobody minds the owners going in and slapping a few backs, shaking a few hands and stuff like that. Possibly when we lose, I wouldn't want them in there. But if we win, I think it's a good thing they go in, slap a few backs, So it depends if they're undermining the manager. They can't undermine the manager. The manager has to be seen as the guy who pulls all the strings by the players. So to me, it only matters about the undermining. Whether the owners go in or no, whether it's something. I think in America, it's something that's normal. I think in Britain, it maybe isn't. But then again, what do we know? We're not in the dressing room all the time and stuff. So it's one of these things that some people are sort of like using in a negative way. They've got these certain things, and this is one of them as the owners going in. But I don't think it matters when we're winning because nobody will care. When we're losing, they'll point to this a little bit. But I don't think it's a big deal, to be honest. But it's like everything else. If it's your business, can you stop people going into? It's like you own a shop. Can you stop the owner going into the shop? It's a bit silly. It's their prerogative. The only thing, like I've said, is don't undermine the manager,
Sorry,
about
guys.
it with that.
Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
Yeah,
Sorry,
Bobby.
I
I
had
can
to
hear
go
you.
out and I had to go out and come back in to fix the problem. Sorry, guys. Big up Mitchie.
Hey, yeah, Bobby. I missed you. I missed you yesterday, pal. I had a good long stream yesterday.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Sometimes when it's late like that, it's hard for me because my medication really kicks in. But anytime I can, I'm your boy. I'm your boy. I'll
Oh,
be
I
there
know
with
that,
you.
pal. I know that. I was sort of like pushing Roger a little bit. He was coming with the storyline thing, and I sort of kept him to the facts a little bit more, So I was a bit spiky with Roger.
No, I
But
don't.
You
You,
fought Roger
coach.
on the panel. Yeah,
yeah, I
Bobby.
was
I
a
was
wee
talking
bit.
about. Yeah, I know, Bobby. I know you don't have to reassure me. I know that. Well, one. Bobby. I don't know if you heard everything I read out with regards to Enzo Fernandez convincing Moises Caicedo to come join us. I get it. He has always been a Chelsea supporter and has always wanted to play for the club. But Enzo calling him and telling him how the bond because they have at the club and how we have a young squad, but the future is bright and all that. That's nice to see. And this tells us once more again, these players, you can say the owners explained the project to them. They didn't try to hide anything from them. They probably explained to them, look, we want to sign young players like you, and we're looking to build a team that will dominate in the future. That now things will be difficult, and they all understand that. I think Gusto has also said something to that effect, that he understands it's a project. He's not worried about how things are going right now. Enzo has said it here, but more importantly, he called to help convince Caicedo to join us. I think it's a good way to get players to want to join you because players respect players. But let's hear you, Bobby. What do you think?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I think they are invested in the project. That's why they signed eight, I think in Enzo's case, 9 years, just like Caicedo. And these guys know that they are going to be the core of this new team. It's an exciting thing for them, for anybody. You are the foundation of a new process. Everything is about how much investment you make of yourself and your talent into the project. So it is a good thing. It's nice to know that they are working for the project by encouraging their fellow good players to join. But yet again, this isn't something that's new. I mean, if you look back to the time when Glenn Hoddle signed Ruud Gullit, if we can go back to that time, because of Hoddle, Gullit came. Because of Gullit, Zola, Viali, Kasaragi, and to a certain extent, even Di Matteo came. So they all encourage each other to join each other to make the team stronger. And that is a spirit that we need, certainly in this young group of players and with this new project. So I'm very happy to hear it.
Yeah, and his Enzo's coming to debunk the rumors. I think a few weeks ago, saying something to the effect of he's already looking to leave Chelsea Football Club because of the way things are going. It's glad to hear these things, and I'm happy. Mitch, just give me a minute. I'd like to get your thoughts on this particular report here. Big up to you,
More
DJ.
poison.
Much love to you, brother Bobby, and Chelsea. And Chelsea, Mitch boy, everyone in the comments. I hope everyone is well. Remember to smash the
Big up,
like button and
teacher.
also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Yeah, big up DJ. But Romana was not going to the dressing room at halftime. What is that? Houston, who did they go to the dressing room at halftime? I think were just rumors, in my opinion. Bali was doing. I think that they are that you think that they underrate the coach. Maybe I don't know, but the fact is, it's nothing new. That's how I see it. Waffled Michi. I think I should start saying that. I like it. Yeah. Yeah. I asked the question on my show. So, yeah, you have the answer, Dante. When I get asked a question, I have to waffle a bit. Waffling is what we do, isn't it? Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Mitchell, you have anything to add to this particular report here?
What one's that? Or the one here?
For me, so maybe we should again. There are a few other comments we want to look at. If you want to talk about it now, up to you. If you don't have
All
anything to
right,
say with
I
regards to
already
that, we can
addressed
move.
this
Yeah.
on your channel before. The model type thing, these players are buying into it. That's why we're getting these young players. We aren't just getting these young players because we're paying them fantastic wages. We're actually selling them this model going forward, you know, and they know it's a process and they're all coming out and saying it. And I sort of suspected that anyway, because the results haven't been great, but these guys are still really enthusiastic. They're still really battling. Their attitudes are fantastic. That's because they believe in this model. You know, they've been sold a dream, and that dream's still ongoing until further notice. Now, if this goes on for 5 years and we're absolutely useless, then it's going to crumble. But I think results like the result we just had, they're going to help so much. And these results are really important to these boys going forward. It's going to build up their confidence. And to believe in a project, you need results as well, because we can't stink the place out. We need these results. I've said to the guys in my panel, and whenever I've been in chats, we're banging games. It's small margins when we're losing and drawing, and it's small margins when we won. That game the other day, we could have easily lost that as well. So it works both ways, you know, and if we can just scrape up to about seventh, like I was saying the other day to Roger, we can scrape up to seventh and maybe get a new striker in, get people like Nkunku back. We're going to have a good shout at getting into that top 5, and that's all I ask for this season. We thought it was going to be tough, but I think it is definitely going to be tough. It's going to be a roller coaster. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, it's going to be a long season. And if anybody came into the season expecting us to be playing at the same level as Man City, Liverpool, even Newcastle United, then that person, you can say, isn't being truthful to themselves. The fact that we have an entirely new squad, you should always know that, yeah, we're not a unit. It will take time to actually for us to start playing as a unit. So, Mitchell, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Agile Eddie Catcher saying both of them equally said that they would like to be remembered forever at Chelsea. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Hi, Bobby. The team played each and every game, just that we are not clinical at that final end. I'm not sure what Lamin is referencing here. So let's move on to the next comment we have lined up here. Yeah, we're on. We can say we're into the comments territory right now. The players comments. This one here from Enzo Fernandez. I think this should have come before the other one. I am thankful for Moises Caicedo and the way he treats me and the group. Wow. Okay. I think we have a bromance there. He takes care of the younger players. Speak. I am thankful for Mauricio Pochettino and the way he treats me and the group. They like the manager. It's a good sign. He takes care of the younger players. He always helps them on a daily basis. He's always watching us, watching out for us, and we learn a lot from him because he has a great experience. He has been in charge of many teams and has achieved great things at the other clubs he has coached. I am very proud he's here helping us. Here's the thing. I think we've always known that he's the man for the job. Given his track record with young players, he's known to nurture young players, help them become world-class players, for lack of another way to say it. So yeah, and people the other day, I don't know where that came from. I don't know how people, or you can say, read what Enzo was saying to the manager, saying he was telling him to change the tactics. I don't read lips, but to me, I didn't pay attention that much. And even if that was the case, I don't care really. I don't know if anybody on the panel wants to talk about this, or should we move on? I think there isn't anything that's just coming.
Coach, I think this is the negative people. This is one of the narratives, like the going in the dressing room, like they're telling the coach what tactics. It's all bullshit.
Exactly.
It's all just narratives.
Okay, you're talking about him telling the manager. You're talking about him telling the manager to change the tactics, right?
Yeah. It's nonsense, absolute nonsense.
Go ahead.
When you listen to these paragraphs here with the players have got perfect respect for the man. They respect what he's did as a player. They respect what he's did as a coach. It's absolute nonsense in my opinion. What do you think, Bobby?
I think you're 100% right, Michi. You see, this is what we're up against, supporting Chelsea. And indeed, I think the support for the club has taken a whole new dimension because we have to look out for these silly little things that they're all these little grenades they're trying to lob into the fan base to get us all riled and fighting each other and criticizing the club overtly and turning against the club and the players. Nothing unusual happened there. There are times a player will express something to his coach. You don't know what they were talking about. It could be any number of things, and I think it's an absolute nonsense. It's nothing whatsoever. Happens at every club, any club. Look at Man City sometimes. You find De Bruyne shouting back at Pep Guardiola. That doesn't mean he's not committed to the cause. It's emotion, it's different things happen, different dynamics happen on a football pitch. And yeah, I'm with
I'd
you,
say it's just
Mitri.
communication. It's just communication.
Feedback.
That you need
Exactly.
to exist between the manager and the players. Feedback also. Yeah. No, Roger, that's a
Exactly.
topic,
Big
but
up,
I gotta
Roger.
give it to you. You better.
Hey,
You described
Roger
it better.
Dodger.
Feedback.
Wow,
You know how Roger
we've got
tells you.
the
You know
first
Roger
team.
tells you I'm on the panel here. He says, mm-hmm. So that's not his way of saying I'm here.
Hashtag tap in merchant.
Yeah,
Hey,
he just
don't
tapped
care.
in, but I gotta
He
I
doesn't.
give him the goal because he described it better. Feedback, maybe. And people just
Yeah.
took it and ran with it, saying he was telling the manager to change the tactics, that it's not working. But Roger, let's hear you have anything to add to that one in particular. I think I'll take you, Bobby, if we have more time by the time we get through the comments to take you guys back to talk about a few things that I addressed before you join the panel. I don't know. You want to add to this or anything else you've heard us talk about that you want to talk about?
Are you referring to me or Bobby?
Roger.
So basically, I think a lot of it is either solicited or genuine feedback, where a coach will go to the players, "What are you seeing that's different? Why isn't this working?" For instance, I think most coaches do this in a plethora of sports, not just football. I think that's pure, unadulterated poppycock. Period. I totally agree.
Yeah, absolute horse do. Anything else you've heard us talk about that you want to add to?
I haven't been listening. I had a guest over, so my cousin popped over, so I haven't listened to anything yet. I apologize, gentlemen.
No, you don't have to. We didn't know. But that's by the way, Roger. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'll come to you in a bit. Let's move on. What else do we have here? Rain. Always nice to see you, Rain. Roony, who? Yeah, the kid is good, in my opinion. Even before you can say that game against Manchester United, if you've been following him up. When we were first linked with a move for him, I started looking at him. I think he's a good player. Poch in. Let's see. Poch the GOAT. Wow, that's I went in support of the club firing him. I don't quite remember. You let me know if that was the case. Osimhen is slow. Wow. Okay, let's hear. Keep dropping likes on the stream, and we have Chooks Talk Football. Mr. Chooks says, "Rain, you're not serious? Okay, talk with him. Slug it out with him." Let's see how you are. Anything else? Well, let's see the next item we have lined up here. Just give me a second here. And the next thing, we move on from the Enzo comments here. Yeah. On the expectation to win silverware and Chelsea's DNA. Winning a lot. I want to win many trophies with this club, the Champions League, the Premier League. I want to win everything possible, every possible trophy there is, and be part of the generation that will make history with this club, because this is a very historic club. But there's a new generation. What we all want is to win many trophies with this club and to be remembered forever. That's a good mentality. I think he understands where he is. I don't know if anybody else want to talk about this, or should we move on to the next item we have lined up?
No,
Right.
like I said, Coach, it's they've bought into the project and they're on board 100%. And I think with the way we played against Arsenal, the way we've played against Tottenham, the way we've played against Liverpool, we know we are living up in that table. We just have to tidy up at the back and start scoring goals, and we're banging that top four.
Yeah, I believe the people that were not on board with this project, we saw them depart over the last window.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Let's see. I know if Bobby has anything to add to that, he will come in. Let's move on to the next
Yeah,
item.
it's just, everybody's on board. Most of the sensible fan base are on board. This is something you have to be a bit patient. We're going to have hiccups. There's going to be growing pains, and we're going through it. We're going through it, and the good thing is the slight lights that we get at the end of the tunnel are happening too. Your Tottenham games, and I really won't mention other games because we played so much better and didn't really get what we deserved in terms of winning. But it's a journey, and I braced myself for the City game. I'm not really expecting anything from that, to be honest. But whatever happens, I hope the fan base don't suddenly turn and start hating on the team. Just remember who we are, what we're doing, and the deficiencies we have while doing it in terms of all the key injuries. And you be prepared for anything.
Yeah, I think before we
Bobby,
round up, I think it's important. Yeah, go ahead, Roger.
sorry, yeah, we're missing, and I'm not including Chalobah, or Malang Sarr, etc. We're missing 6 starters basically. And
Yes.
Nkunku,
It
Carney,
just looks
Chilwell,
like that's it for
Broja.
Chalobah, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
Lavia. That's why I'm not including.
Yeah,
I'm
go
not
ahead.
including
Sorry.
Bettinelli either in that list for obvious reasons, or the third string tea lady. So when you look at that, listen, we've got 17 players out of the 25 that are born this century. Let that sink in for a minute. I mean, that really makes me feel like I'm long in the tooth. 17 out of the 25 are born this century, gentlemen. This is a very youthful squad indeed.
It sure is. It sure is. That really does put some perspective. And people were criticizing us. We went to Spurs. We beat them 4-1. We didn't ask them to get red cards. They got red cards out of their own foolishness. We didn't ask them to play a high line, low line, whatever line, I don't care line. The fact is that we beat them 4-1 on their patch. A more experienced, more established, better rehearsed team that were top of the table. I mean, we have to take some flowers out of that, even if we didn't. And we're complaining that we didn't play well, which means we can play a lot better. So,
yeah, honestly, listen, I've been critical of the performance at the 3-point lane recently, and I think it's valid. But let's be honest here. You're right. We seriously, had we had our shooting boots on, realistically, we could have come away with. Yeah, I would say between 6 and 8. Yeah, I'm not exaggerating, and they could have got 1 or 2 more. Also, don't get me wrong. This was a typical Western shootout. It really was. It was like a spaghetti movie.
And yeah. Go ahead, Roger. Sorry, apologies.
Could have been, and this is not being bombastic. This is not exaggerating. We could have realistically achieved 7 to 8 goals. Quite honestly.
Roger, and everyone on the panel, Coach Michi, listen, do you know that for us as Chelsea fans, we're looking at it critically, and we look at it in a different way. But you know that your average neutral, and indeed anti-Chelsea and Chelsea-hating pundits, look at that game as one of the best games they have ever seen in the Premier League.
Exactly.
That is high praise indeed, and we can't let these things, go lightly. We're building something here. And for us to have taken part and performed at all in that way against such a bitter rival on their patch, whoa, okay. We've got to take a little bit of a bow, lads, and then we move on.
And then compare it to a certain team that played Copenhagen last night.
Well, there you go. That's
all I have to say.
And that's then it is the sort of game that the more you watch it, the more you get to understand we actually did what we had to do to win that game. I'm not going to say whether it was pretty or whether it was bad. We did what we had to do to win. We created so many chances.
Yeah,
it's just that
winning ugly
haunted us on the day.
winning
Go
when
ahead.
playing badly is a very important ingredient to success. And these kids are going to learn from that, and it will give them belief, which is massive. Which is massive. And let's see what happens, And when the injuries eventually come back and are fit, whenever that will be, I think we're going to take another level up. It's inevitable.
Yeah, I think so too. Let me catch up here, Rich. I'll come back to you in a bit. I know
Sure.
you want to talk because you joined late, but lateness is
Mhm.
greatness. My leap reading skills, Enzo was saying, go to plan B, coach. But Poch replied, no, no, hey, no, plans B part. I don't understand what that even means, but I hope I'm not cursing at people. And Bluetooth Game says, comment section, don't be fooled. Yeah, he's going to have a go at the panelists. Don't be fooled by the camaraderies of the panel. They are still a bunch of frauds, tapping and passion merchants with a dodgy style keeper that has less clean sheets than a newborn. Just go away. I don't like you one bit.
Thanks for the visual. That was funny.
Oh my goodness. And Keisha, nice to see you. I hope your channel is growing well. Whenever you get a chance, share the link to your channel so people can go support you. But tell them what the channel is for. We waste lots of chances. We need a striker who can score goals. But I don't want us to go to buy a striker with the mindset that we need a striker to put away a single individual to put away all the chances we create, and then have a part two of the Lukaku situation, where once we get to the final third, we'll be channeling all our goal scoring opportunities through a single individual, because they played all their life as a traditional number 9. Carney and Broya are not the starters. Yeah, and why are you laughing out loud? Because you're joking. You want us to start a fight, right? Big up Kachila in the chat. Big up to you too, JC. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join. And let's see what else we have here. But realistically, you know what Roger is saying. Much love to all of you. People exchanging pleasantries there. Let's see what else we have here. We have to capitalize on our chances. We have to finish our dinner, like Bobby would put it. We have to take our chances. Chelsea need to stop buying young players and get some experienced players. I think we will mix it up, but I think we'll still be buying a lot of young players, in my opinion. Where's Rashi? Yeah, you're not going to see him today. You're not going to see him, except if Chelsea plays a game and didn't win. Then he comes to the chat and start fighting. You can say trolling maybe. Yeah, a great comment, I must say. A very funny one at that. James Felix is saying it looks like Chelsea are more interested. But what? Really? That is racist, I have to say. Oh my goodness. Even if that's what, if you didn't mean to say that, inadvertently maybe, or maybe I think that's racist. It looks like Chelsea are more interested in buying up black people who are not specifically on the. Oh my goodness, this is racist. Even if you don't mean that, in my opinion, maybe someone else doesn't see it like that.
I don't understand. I don't understand his point, to be honest.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
I don't. It doesn't make sense either. Plus, the first few sentences to me is saying somewhat racist, even if you don't mean that. I'm not sure what, but go ahead, Mitch, if you were still talking.
Yeah, I think I was wanting to talk about your last thing. If you look at some of these big Twitter accounts and stuff like that, definitely some of them have got agendas. And I've noticed recently, every time they come out with something, it's a negative thing. So these people they've not got the best interests in the club. And the basis of what they're doing. It's a dig at the club, it's agenda. And I disregard some of these. See, like say Pies, I now think he's a bit Johnny Minerals type thing. Maybe he's in spaces with him all the time. He's getting brainwashed and brainwashing others into a negative sort of stance against the club. And it's very noticeable now that when these people are bringing out certain stories, they're always negative. Because this one here is a dig at the Paul with Stanley, why we've not let Emma Hayes go and all this carry on. Whereas she might have just wanted to go away for health reasons, for life reasons, whatever it is. There's a lot of context to her going. She's been there for for a while. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes and stuff like that. But every time these people are bringing out stories, they're negative. And I've noticed it quite a lot lately. So I don't know what you guys think.
100.
And have you seen the new report? Go ahead, Bobby. Go ahead.
No, I think, Michi, this is why, I'm such a fan. Michi is spot on. I can't put it any other way. Some of these big sort of accounts on Twitter, what they're X now, and on YouTube, I've stopped, listening to them. I've stopped going on them. I'm pretty close to blocking some of them. It's just I don't like blocking people. I think sometimes you should allow some of the foolishness to come through so that you see what's happening.
Yeah,
And it's
maybe you're there to help
disappointing.
them learn. Yeah, maybe you're there to help them
Well,
learn that they're making a mistake.
I don't.
But sometimes, go
Yeah,
ahead, Bobby.
I think they're beyond that. I think they're so ingrained in their agendas that they won't listen to any sort of reason. It's disappointing because some of them are even match-going fans. They're season ticket holders, and they're coming out with this absolute baloney. It's beyond belief. I'm like, why'd you go to Chelsea? You're not helping Chelsea. You're not supporting Chelsea. You're disparaging Chelsea. Now, the comeback is always, oh, I should be free to have my own opinion. Yeah, okay. So because everybody's free to have their own opinion, you should be free to just go around talking like a fool, and we've all got to accept it. Part of having freedom of speech is to have people have another opinion to your opinion. So I don't know. It's disappointing. I agree with Michi. It's a sad state of affairs. That's where we are. We have quite a few of them actually who think that helps them build up their followership, if I can use that word, their subscription base. Maybe it does. I don't know. A lot of it is clickbait, maybe, but personally, I think it's disappointing. I look at one or two of them and I think, you know what, mate, I expected you to know better, but you're just a fool in my mind.
Yeah, and here's something Bobby just mentioned. Click with regards to clickbait. X pays by engagement. So those big accounts, the more clicks they get, the more money they make. And here's the thing: a subsequent report came out debunking this. That Chelsea actually offered Irma Hayes a salary 4 times that what she's earning right now. So if that didn't come out, people would just run with this. When I saw this, I didn't believe it. I still, at the time, I was still saying it just doesn't make sense. It just sounds as if that's one of those situations where you could say the clickbait merchants will see something and say, you know what, I think this will make sense to Chelsea fans. Let's throw it out there, and they will all suck up to it. And that's exactly what happened until that report that debunked this, saying that Chelsea actually offered her 4 times what she's earning right now. And as Kishan is saying in the chat there, she wants to win the World Cup, which she cannot win if she's a Chelsea manager. So the opportunity came, she looked at it and probably wanted to leave. And it's believable to say that Chelsea offered her everything she wanted, but she wanted to leave to go try she was a fresh challenger on international level and not club level. Go ahead, Bobby. It looks like you want to say something.
Of course, after how many years of service? Is it 11 years, something like that? She's been at the club a long time. And another very amusing thing was, there was a lot of positivity swirling around Paul Winstanley before all this broke. And then they tried to implicate and scandalize Winstanley as if he chased away Emma Hayes. It's pathetic. It really is. And if you're doing that for money,
it is.
If you're doing that for money and clickbaits, then you really do fall into the realm of brown envelope that some people like to push around. So it's quite amusing as well as saddening.
And the unfortunate thing is that people actually suck up to it. That's the unfortunate thing. Anybody else on the panel has anything to add to that one? Otherwise, we'll move on to the next item and start taking questions.
No.
Round up as soon as we can. No. Even if we say move on, he nearly said, "Shut up, coach." Nobody wants it. Nobody has anything to
that's what I love about That's what I love about Roger. He finishes every sentence for you.
Yep, a man of
Captain.
few words, right?
A man of few words. That's my favourite. I don't like you.
Not at all, man. He just said no. Like, shut up, coach. Nobody wants to add to that. You don't have to solely you don't have to solely play through that one striker, but sometimes people do that subconsciously. Your wingers should have more freedom to create for themselves and for the attacker too. I think he makes sense. But when Lukaku was with us, it didn't look as if that was the case. It just seems as at the time that every time the players, the wingers, the midfielders, every time they're on the ball, they try to find Lukaku, whether by design or subconsciously. I don't know. Even at that, I think it takes time for a manager to readjust the way they want to play to accommodate a traditional number 9, especially a manager like Tuchel at the time that you can argue wasn't ready for Lukaku type of player, in my opinion. And his comment says that you can say justifies that argument by saying he's not willing to build his team around a single individual. Enzo had 2 bad knocks. Wow. I haven't heard anything with regards to his fitness, whether he'd be. I think we need them to play against Man City. Yeah, he should. That I think I should have just removed him from the channel, in my opinion. He should do that. And this is saying the only one player who already started slicing out the high line in first half already. It was Palmer, and eventually in the second half, they worked it out. Yep, it took time, but we worked out how to, you can say, exploit that high line. And for me, praise Postecoglou all you want. I think what he did was really stupid. And now, had we scored as many goals as we had the opportunity to score, it'd be difficult for them to come back to that from that. And now they've lost a few players due to injury. Plus the fact, losing 4-1 at home, it's not something to come back from easily like that, in my opinion. Emma wants to win the World Cup. That may well be the case, but of course, people have to blame Sterling, and some people, they are blowing it out of proportion, in my opinion. Big up to you, Michi. This is Jay-Z saying big up to you. Dusan Vlahovic is the best option, according to Andre Aguila. Rumors are that we're still interested in signing him. But I have to be honest here. I don't believe that. I don't think that's the case anymore. I don't think we'll go for him, but we'll find out. Good number 9. I like him as a number 9, but we didn't want him for some reason. I don't know why that is. Because we had the opportunity of sending Lukaku to them and getting him. So to me, that indicates that the manager don't want him. So I don't think we'd go back for him. Jay-Z, this is Michi saying hello to you. Thanks for yesterday. I hope you had fun over there, Coach. It's over and end the stream. No, I'm not doing that right now. We have a few more items to get. Big up everyone. Big up to you too. Let's see what else we have here. Let's move on to the next item. We have 2 more items to address. Chelsea were desperate to keep hold of Emma Hayes and offered her a deal worth 4 times her current wages. It is understood Hayes is seeking a better work-life balance, which is thought to be a key factor in her decision. So this part makes sense. This part aligns with what Kishan said, a better work-life balance. Because as a national team coach, I don't think, you're not going to the training ground every day to train the team. You call them to camp every now and then. I get it, you work every day still, but I don't think you cannot say it's as stressful as club football. But people have to take it and run with it. And hopefully she releases a statement very soon that would debunk the rumors that Winstanley didn't do enough to keep her even further. I want to see that from her. Anybody else on the panel want to add to that, or should we move on to the final item, so to speak?
Nope.
Okay, thank you.
It's what I suspected anyway, Coach. Work-life balance, opportunity.
Yeah.
America is one of the top women's teams, so that gives her a chance to win the World Cup. So it's a win-win for her, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. It's Chelsea, so we're vulnerable. The fans are vulnerable right now. So that will continue until we start dominating again. Then there won't be much to talk about us than to find controversies to make us look bad. The final item here, nothing else here. So, Roger, what can we learn from the confidence of the players, such as Casado, Malo Gusto, and also what's the name, Enzo Fernandez? All have mentioned, that they I said things that makes it clear that they're well informed as to the direction the club wants to go with young players and all that, and they're not in a hurry. They understand that it will take time. But they know there was one, because Casado said something to the effect of they know that Chelsea will dominate in the future. So why aren't the fans the same? You see, so if the players feel the same, understand that it's a project, it will take time before things fall into place properly. What can the fans learn from them, Roger? Let's hear you.
About what, sir? Sorry about that.
About being patient, about the fact that we're young side, about the fact we have an entirely new squad, about the fact that it would take time before we start playing as a unit, start winning a lot of stuff, that it would take time. The players understand that, but the fans don't see that.
Yeah, I think most fans are impatient, but more so for Chelsea fans, because let's be honest here, we've been spoiled over the last 20 years, -1.
Mm-hmm.
We really have. We've had an owner that was willing to do whatever it took to get whatever the manager or the coaching staff wanted, building great facilities, building a women's team, the academy, putting a lot of money into the academy, things that we do not see behind the scenes, and infrastructure, to the tune of 1.5 billion, if I'm not mistaken. So what we see is just the front end of this project for the last 20 years for Mr. Abramovich. And that's been a consistent winning team that has afforded us the luxury of so much silverware and trophies, and titles. So this fan base is very spoiled. It's like if daddy picks you up every day from school in a Rolls Royce, then one day he shows up in a Pinto, it's going to hurt, I'm not saying we're the Pinto right now, don't get me wrong, but I'm exaggerating to obviously to exaggerate my stance, So it's that transition, and I think our fan base is probably the least most patient fan base in the Premier League because of the established 2 decades of unsurpassed excellence. This is the most prolific winning team in Britain in the last 2 decades, period. Now, they're soon going to be matched or surpassed by City, probably. But as we speak right now, this is where we stand. And I think, and don't forget, when we've hit a brick wall historically, Abramovich never hesitates in pulling that trigger. And that's why you've seen, we're talking world-class managers like Ancelotti. Just next, and that formula has won. It's gone against all the odds. Every single expert will tell you, it's hard to fathom, it's hard to duplicate, but it's worked for us. And now we're taking a different fork in the road, and I think we need to be patient. But I think this fan base, they lack patience, and that's been proven. So yeah, it's hard for this fan base to overcome it, but they're going to need to.
Yeah, they need to. Mitch, I'll come to you in a bit with that. She should have gone. Australia should have gone for Emma, and Australia has a good side too. I think if we have another talented striker to compete with Jackson, he will be fine. I think he will do better. But I don't know what we are going to do with our left backs. Left backs, I think we will look to sign another left back for reasons I've explained, and I have a video on that. Actually, 3 reasons why Chelsea will look to sign a left back in the January transfer window, or maybe in the summer. I have a feeling Nkunku will be that striker. It looks like it. Yeah, it looks like it. I'm seeing good signs from the players. Jackson shushing the crowds. Players understanding the importance of keeping London blue. Yeah, that's important. That's another way to see it. Understanding that's a derby. Understanding understanding to just fight. You don't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be pretty. We just have to win, find a way to win. And we did that. And the more you watch that game, the more you say, you know what? I think we did what we had to do to win. Players understanding the importance of magnitude, the size of a London derby, and the importance of keeping London blue. I'm remixing that, of course, appropriately applying brutality when needed, and understanding the agenda. I can't believe I'm saying that. This is actually a delicious comment. Roger sounds like coach mistakenly gave him last reasons script. Coachella is smart. He removed the word Potter from the essay. Wow. Okay, Michi. Yep. Jerry Z is happy to have participated in your show. Everybody will. It's a good show, well organized. Yep, we have the same DNA in terms of how we approach our shows. Correction, Roger sounds like coach mistakenly gave him last season's script. Coachella is smart. He removed the word Potter from the essay. Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate you saying that. Casado will be fantastic for the team. So, Michi, let's hear you. You heard the question I asked, Roger. Let's hear you. What can the fans learn from the fact that the players themselves understand it's a long-term project, that things will be, you can say, shaky right now. We're not there yet. The players know that, but they know when we become well rehearsed, as Bobby was saying, when we're well gelled, when we have better chemistry, there will be a difficult team to play against. Let's hear you. What can the fans learn from it?
I think it's all about channels like us. Like I heard you talking, I think it was yesterday before my show, or maybe it was the day before, I'm not sure. But you were talking positively and stuff like that about the club, about the way we played and stuff like that. And then I've went on and I've tried to be positive. I think if there's some positive voices out there, and when people come on channels like mine, you make sure, they still got to have their opinion, but you just want it to be kept positive. And if people do come up with a negative, you just discuss it and you show them the other side of it, because I think too many other channels are just concentrating on the negative side. There's a bit of agenda there's a bit of bias there, and what I try to do is I just try and keep it positive. I don't think there's much of a bias with myself. Obviously I try not to have that bias, but I just watch the game and I analyse things, and if somebody comes out with a statement, what I'll do is, they've been talking about Silva again. I watch a game and I try and watch Silva, and I try and see what they're talking about. Then I'll come out and I'll discuss what I think they've saw, because sometimes it's just a little story and there's nothing behind it. It's just a narrative. It's the same with this Miss Stanley thing. Like you said, they bring out that story. 90% of people are just going to believe that. So, like you said, getting feedback.
Go ahead.
But the problem is, we've got to keep coming back out and no educating people, but putting the other side of the story. And the more positive voices are out there, it'll help. Obviously, to make the whole thing work, we need results, because some of the people you're just never going to win over anyway. Yeah. But there is the people in the middle. They're the people we can maybe get. It's like politics. We're on one side, try to be positive, and you've got people on the negative side. You're never going to turn them. It's the people in the middle that we have to try and reach, and have to just show them reason and say, look, it's going to take time. We've got a lot of injuries. It's very fine margins between losing and winning, and that's all it's about. It's all about caring about the club, because the people who are being negative, they think they're caring for the club, but they're not helping. Every player we lose cause of hate is a negative towards the club, and that's what they don't see. And that's the main thing I don't like, is the hate gets to the players eventually. And I've been consistent with that since I've came on YouTube and been in chats. I don't like the hate on the players. I don't think it's productive, and I don't think it's going to get us anywhere. That a toxic environment is no good for anybody.
As long as it's constructive, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but we're always constructive. Yeah. We're always constructive. The thing is, the Gallagher thing, he wasn't great last year, but this year he's improved. And even people like Carefree Lewis, he's saying that he's playing well. That he was one of the three that he hated last season. He didn't like them. He wanted them at the club. But now
even this season,
he's big enough.
Even this season, he's been on his case this season for a while.
Yeah, but then he's eventually realised that the guy's playing really well and he's gave him his flowers. So that's why I appreciate Carefree Lewis. I don't always agree with his takes, but he's big enough and clever enough to say, look, this guy's playing okay. Now, we're not saying he's messy or anything like that. You know, what we're saying is the guy's improved and he's a big part of the team at the moment. And until we get a fit, better player than him, he's the guy. You know, but that's only an example. You know, you can go through the whole team. Pretty much every player gets comfort. I think the only one that's been free any criticism has been Palmer. That's the only.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. And Lewis, I give him respect. And if you see anybody that will always come to time that a player has improved, give him credit. It's as simple as that. And even I that has always said he's not one of my favorite players at Chelsea, but I recognize, he has something that he provides to this, he brings to the table for this team that no other player brings to the table. Which was why I was confident enough to say if he didn't start against Tottenham, that I'd do $100 giveaway, and I meant it. I couldn't do that for Jackson because I wasn't too sure, but for Gallagher, I was too sure. That's not me saying we cannot do better than him, but right now, nobody has comes close to him in terms of what he offers. Bobby, let's hear you. The question is, what can the Chelsea fans learn from the mentality, you can say from the mindset of the players, and the fact that the players understand that we've made too many changes, that we're very young, everything will take time, but they know that the future is bright. They know, they're confident, the way they speak, they're confident that the future is bright, that we'll become one of the best teams in the Premier League, to be specific. I think it was Casado that said that. What can the fans learn from it? Why can't they recognize this, see such things and say, yeah, if the players are saying this, maybe that's the case. Just support them, help them get there as quickly as possible. But let's hear you, Bobby.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally, surprise, surprise, agree with what Michi just said. And just before I answer your question, I don't like calling out other channels on the channel in a negative way, but I will call out in a positive way. And I've got a shout out to Carefree Lewis as well. Sometimes there are things that appear on his channel and I sort of switch off, but his post-match interview, I don't know who was giving that to him, I've forgotten, it was on YouTube. The way he came out,
it was their channel too. It was their channel too. They do post-match interviews with fans. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's probably, I mean, he came out spot on. He was on fire about Chelsea's performance against Tottenham, and I agreed with him so wholeheartedly. And this is what the fan base needs. They need to hear us talking in this light. I'm not saying being stupidly positive such that you can't even criticize the club, no. But don't fall for the propaganda, the anti-Chelsea propaganda, where there's quite a bit of it out there. Now, what can we learn from the youngsters, young players? What a lot of these young fan base don't understand is that the DNA and history of Chelsea Football Club take it back to the 50s, probably even beyond. I need to check with Rick Granville, Chelsea historian, about that, but I'm sure it's quite, correct to say.
Or maybe
that
Max. Let's say Max. Max will help you.
Well, going beyond, I'm talking of beyond the 50s and all that. I don't know. I mean, Rick Granville is actually a Chelsea Football Club historian. Max, lots of fans. All I'm just saying is this. Look, Chelsea DNA, Chelsea Football Club has been built on youth. It is the young players coming through with the belief in the club and carrying the torch of the club that has always been the foundation of an era of success. You take it from the 50s and winning the then Division One, which was the championship, the whole league, for the first time. You take it from the 60s, the Terry Venables stroke, what's the chap that died? The great player. Oh gosh, I always forget his name. He went to Spurs and played in the end. And
Wilkins.
they forgot. Sorry?
Ray Wilkins.
No, I'm coming to Ray. I'm talking of even before Ray.
Greaves, Jimmy Greaves.
Jimmy Greaves.
Jimmy Greaves. Oh, yeah.
People forget he was our boy. He's a Chelsea boy. And, they won winning the League Cup. And, of course, the Aussie, Harris, all that era, winning the FA Cup, the Cup Winners' Cup. And, of course, people like the Wilkins era getting us out of Division 2. That was the blueprint of potentially going to be another very successful team. Only financial issues made us sell players like him, and then we went backwards again before coming forwards. Every single blueprint of successful Chelsea team has been predicated on a youth development. Now, people may say the Abramovich era wasn't that. Okay, fine. I will accept that to a point. But post Abramovich, when we decided to redress our our approach towards acquiring players because of FFP, what happened? We went back to the academy and won the Champions League. So this is Chelsea Football Club. This is what we are about. We get young players in, we get them onto the project. They believe in the project and they carry the torch. If only fans can have that fabric in their belief. Because, when you're building is not an easy thing to do. Building sometimes is painful. The only thing we can hope for in this project is that we keep winning, we keep going in the right direction, but sometimes you're going to get a slap. You're going to get young players that are going to show inconsistencies. Your Madwakers of this world, your Modric of this world, they're going to come on, and sometimes you're going to think, aye, aye, what's he up to today? He's not quite up to it. And this is their development. They're developing. Enzo, even Caicedo, upon all their experience, sometimes he has a bit of a wobbler. And bearing in mind, this is their first season, apart from maybe Enzo, and I don't regard last season or last half season because that was a no season in terms of the players and everything. But a lot of these players, this is their first season in the Premier League, their first season with the club. Some of them having no pre-season. We've got to have thicker skin than we
A
have
lot
as a
of
fan
them,
base. Sorry?
a lot of them didn't have a preseason.
Yeah, yeah. Some of them just coming back from injury. I mean, come on. We're expecting them to be playing like primetime Man City. It's not going to happen. They're doing well as it is, and I was grateful for the result last week on Monday. I'm so happy we got that result. We should all be celebrating, not castigating the club because they didn't play like Lionel Messi, Xavi, and Iniesta Barcelona. You know, we're coming. We're coming, and thank God we're picking up points as we're going along. That's all I'm praying for. I only look for the next game, and I think our fan base needs to slightly. I mean, I'm not using myself as an oracle of all things you should emulate, but slightly try and adopt that attitude. The next game and the next game. Why proverbially we, the more sort of positive leaning Chelsea fan base that speak out on platforms, why I think we're important is that I remember back in the day when I was a kid, a very young kid, and as a young kid you're always looking to the bigger boys, how they support the club. And there was always two ways. In those days, I'm sure Michi and Roger would know what I'm talking about. There was the violent streak. Those that came to the games and really all they were looking for was a dust up. They came there to fight.
Oh
But
yeah,
there were this they came to fight before, after, and during the game. But there was a fan base of people that actually came to support. Yeah, some of the songs, the language you wouldn't want your kids to hear today, but they came to support. Now, I was looking at that, and they were people that could take care of themselves if it came down to it, believe me. But they weren't into the violence, they weren't into all the other unsavory stuff. And I would look at these two factions, and I knew the ones I was leaning more towards, the ones I was respecting. So I don't know. It's no longer a violent thing these days, but there is the negative fan base and there is the positive fan base who I hope with the positivity we come across with reason and we put forth evidence as to why things are as they are and as to why, if you are a fan, continue supporting the club. The club needs you. They need your positivity. They don't need you pulling us down.
Yeah, thank you so much. Chimera here saying Jackson is shushing the spots crowd and doing the sue against a nine-man team. Such a shameless player. Yeah, I'll take it. And after all, Chelsea fans, you had them say we're shameless. Yeah, I'll take it. People are really praising this. Yeah, yeah. You see it the way you want to see it. You have every right to do so. It was a win. And had we not won, the argument now would be we couldn't beat the nine-man sports team. But now we've won. The argument is now, yeah, why are we celebrating that? I'm not with you on this one. But that's by the way we're moving. You don't like him? I told you he will score a hat trick, and you did say that. But I have to say this: I think the day you mentioned that he was going to score a hat trick, I think you were being sarcastic. And JC, I'll come with you in a bit. To you in a bit. Let's see what else we have here. Gallagher got a lot better. Yep. Hate it or hate him or love him. I think Gallagher gets sold for 60 to 70 million pure profit.
Yeah.
You have every right to think that's the case. But given what we have right now, until we see another player that provides what Gallagher provides, it's not going to happen. I mean, I'm sticking with that. I'm not going to go to the extent of betting whether he gets sold. I'm telling you, if he gets sold, I'll do this. Not right now.
I suspect, especially assuming, of course, that a player like Lavia comes in and, is at least equal to Gallagher. And I know he's only 19. I get that. And I do realize, hopefully, we're going to need extra depth next year because of being in Europe. But I suspect if we go after an expensive number 9, hypothetically, whether it's this window or the next window, I think players like Gallagher and, others from the academy will probably be moved on because of the fact that it's pure profit. It's the financial model until we gain other financial streams that can afford us a greater profit margin, like greater advertising, greater, marketing. Until we get to that level, which I suspect we will be eventually, because the Americans are, madmen, as in Madison Avenue. They're great at marketing. Until they can get us lucrative deals, especially advertising in America, then our revenue stream is still somewhat curtailed compared to teams like United.
All right, let me catch up on bringing Jesse, but something I'm going to say, if here's the thing, I know we can do better than Gallagher in so many ways. But as long as he's as important as he is to this team right now, if that remains the case in January, he stays. The only problem I see, and he can only get better from what we're seeing, without just being truthful now, if he keeps playing, he can only get better and probably will become undroppable. He's undroppable right now, and probably will get to an extent where even if Lavia comes back, Lavia will be rotating with Casado, in my opinion, next season. But I think Gallagher stays beyond next season. I'm still saying that. The only issue will come down to him signing a new contract. Jesse here saying that Coachella, I need to balance out your panel so that we don't swing too much to the dreamland. Wow. Okay, we'll hear you in a bit. Gallagher got a lot better. I think I agree with you. I still think Gallagher gets sold. We'll find out. If we with this current squad, he's not going anywhere. We have to see somebody that does what he does, and that's my opinion. Improves his fitness level, and that's a plus. Also, that's the thing. He hardly gets injured. And ask the beautiful game who did the research, and injury record says no entry. So that shows you the guy. It's a huge asset for the manager, and I don't think he lets him go. And signs are he loves him. That's huge. Chimera, again, let's see what else we have here. Say, Chimera, let me add context. Rashford doesn't have a hat trick in the Premier League. Højlund has not scored in the Premier League. Jackson has more goals than Saka and Alvarez and Nunes. Yeah, let that sink in. So give him credit. It doesn't matter. We've seen people miss those chances that he put away. 3 adept analysis accompanied by a host. Perfect to enjoy while enjoy sipping on a cup of coffee. Enjoy that. I think I have a new brand that I like. It's working well. A lot are going to develop some to a very high level, in my opinion. Yeah, lots of them will do well. Good day to you, to Supreme Court. It's nice to see you. I hope your absence means that you've been busy. Not that anything has gone wrong, but always nice to see you. Yeah. Big up to Lewis. He's a you can say he's a principled individual. Gives people credit when he needs to be, critic them when he needs to critique them, and doesn't take anything personal. From what I've known so far, I think I am realizing not everyone is like us, and not analyzes. They just don't watch the match a lot. They just take one thing and run with it. Of times, so I have a different view of the match. I needed to take that into consideration. I need, again, the more you watch it, the more you learn more. Right now, I'm just gonna go with we did what we had to do to win. But Michi, please stop typing in the chat. Don't cost me more. If you want to say something, say it on the panel. Don't be a Tobago here. Let's see. Anything else we have here? See, so the host is waffling, right? Or the host is waffling, maybe. Yeah, I don't like you either. I don't like you either, Michi. Let's see anything else we have to address here quickly so I can bring in JC. Okay, just people having a conversation there. I'm going to move on from that one. And Giovanni Jafta says, I take the win any day against Tottenham. 9-man Tottenham or not, that win is a morale booster. Yep, in my opinion too. Jackson's belief is important. Every win gives us confidence. Yep, we need it to build up this kids. Yep, doing well. We are 10th. We are below that poor Manchester United team. This is what you call lowering standards. Right now, given the players we have quality, but when they're not well rehearsed, it will take time. And I think we still finish. I think we still end the season well. Where? I don't know. You could say we're doing well, given the fact we have an entirely new squad, in my opinion. How many games have we played? The position of the park and lost. Okay, position off the park and lost. It's about time we win a game ugly. Yep, we don't want playing well and not win. I'd rather we play badly and keep winning game. I keep the same energy, people. I think we should. Mitchie has shared the link to his YouTube channel, the Chelsea Wafflers Union channel. Go check it out. Be sure to subscribe. Always delicious streams. Very positive. Objective, more importantly. Constructive criticisms and all that. You see Roger there, you see Bobby there, you see DJ Sub. Sometimes me, whenever I'm not sleeping. You will enjoy it, and believe me, you will thank me later. Bobby's exceptional historical account of Chelsea Football Club was truly inspiring. Wow. Okay, I didn't know he said that much. Let's see what else we have here. I have enjoyed the game more and more each time you watch it. Yeah, you get to see we did what we had to do to win that particular game. So let me come to you, Jesse. Your thoughts? What should the fans learn from the players, given their mindset, their understanding of the fact that things will take time, of the fact that we're young players, of the fact that one day, not one day, they know we will become one of the best teams in the Premier League soon, and they want to win a lot. I get it. We have every right to critique them, to criticize them if they don't do well, they don't play well. But sometimes I think we overdo it. We don't even do it objectively. Some people just pick a certain player and keep slandering the player, not even being objective, we say, in terms of critiquing that particular player. Well, let's hear you. What do you think the fans will learn, should learn from the players? Let's hear you.
Hi, coach. Hello. How are you?
Yeah, big up to you too.
Hello there.
Yeah. Hey, Roger.
Brother, and thank you for being patient.
Yeah, I understood your questions in two ways. First is like, what is the state of the affairs at the club, which we can discuss, and the second thing is the point is relating to how we should discuss, and these are two different things. So for a start, I really like your stream, and the main reason for that is you are one of the few streamers who has an open, free speech kind of a stream, where every opinion, every kind of a different view to the football, to the objective, if it is objective. I'm not talking about a certain comment. We had rubbish comment today, which we banned the guy. Yeah? So the correct football kind of discussions, and your channel is more, your stream is more like free speech, and people, if they come and give a proper argument, then the arguments are discussed. So that is a fantastic added value your stream brings to the community.
I
And
appreciate that.
appreciate
I'm waiting for the but.
Yeah. So,
However,
however, when you compare with certain other which you are criticizing, and there's a fair point, but that there are like people who are carrying out agendas and but here is what we have to understand. There are certain peoples who have who link and it's human life, huh? Your emotional attachment or detachment to a certain player or a club sometimes clouds your objectivity, but that not only means in the negative manner but also in the positive manner. And the moment the positivity starts to steamroll every other argument, that in itself is also agenda. That's also narrative building, which is wrong. If my son or my grandson makes a mistake, and if I don't tell him this is wrong, son, he will never learn. And those who tell me from the sideways, you are negative, pointing out to your son that he's made a mistake, that guy is also wrong. And when I look at streams where people are discussing not the football or the club, but what other streamers are discussing, and that's why we have to do the other thing, that's not journalism. There are certain streamers who also even try to put the agenda, like if you are going to discuss this, you are not welcome. That's like, you know, in US you have CNN and Fox News.
MSNBC too.
Your stream is one of the few ones where anybody, if he has a good argument, intellectually well crafted and presented, you welcome that. And that's a very big positive thing in your stream, which is missing on the other streams, many streams. Then there are streams where people shouting, they are like the atmosphere is like more heated, and that, you know, like they do also have free speech, but sometimes the viewers get the disconnect when people are shouting and like trying to, but here's the thing, the viewer is never an idiot. You can never create a narrative for the viewer. The viewer will listen to you if you have an objective argument, and the viewer will ignore and move on if there's a lack of objectivity. So even on the positive side, we need to be objective and not be running an agenda or a narrative, and not attack each other for their viewpoints. Instead, argue, put the counter statement to the argument. And if you're not able to present that, then fine. I mean, maybe the other person is correct. It's normal in one game, I would say, I think Poch did well. And another game, he says, like, he's repeating this mistake already for the fifth time. So he's taking time to learn, maybe. And maybe like somebody learns it after one game, somebody learns it after 5 games. We are not in the dressing room. We really do not know exactly to the precise point what is happening there. We can only make some opinions because this is a program about opinions. But we have to be objective about it.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. We sincerely do appreciate that. Let's hear you. What can the fans learn from the players' mindset in terms of where we're going?
See, what I look is like they are still young, and I put it in the group as well. I mean, we are clearly missing experience, characters, leaders in that group. Okay, there is leadership characteristics in everybody. Even a 5-year-old can show characteristics of a leader, but experience adds to that, and there is a lack of experience in the team. And sometimes to develop, you necessarily don't need to be starting in the starting 11. You can also start in the under 21s. You can also start in the development squad, and that is no way a downgrade also. The club itself is a structure which is trying to thrive and compete and excel. And we can objectively have an assessment like, is it going fine, not fine? Okay, but not playing in first 11 is not a catastrophe, and getting all the time to expect like they will be like Barcelona is also okay. It's not objective. We can understand the state of affairs as it is. They are not Barcelona, they are potential. So should we give it a clean sheet to everybody? No, I mean, if you don't tell them it could be better, they will never know that it could be better. And that's where it's like keeping the things honest. And that's where criticism plays an important part in it. Don't steamroll over the criticism. Because if you are doing that, you are building an agenda yourself. Then you are an agenda merchant as well. What's the difference?
All right, thank you so much, JFC. Let me catch up what we have in the chat. Let's hear Tottenham has secured a 2-1 victory over a 9-man Liverpool with an own goal in the 97 minutes. They celebrated. It helped them stay top at the table at the time. Why is Chelsea under scrutiny? I don't know. And the funny thing is that it's our own fans they're saying it's shameful. Like Chimera in the chat is saying it's shameful. Not even Chimera is not even talking about the fact we won. He's just going straight to say it's shameful. Jackson shouldn't shoo the fans because he scored a hat-trick. Doesn't matter. We've seen people miss open net goal like that. Do you guys remember when we went through that whole season, winning games 1-0? Yeah, I think mainly wasn't that mainly under Mourinho. The Sun newspaper challenged the teams to score against us. We hadn't conceded at home for 3 years. We were so ugly, but yeah, we loved the trophies. We won. It's a simple, and especially this youthful side. The same argument we were making on the Graham Potter. Just win games, develop the winning mentality. Then style is secondary, in my opinion. Style is secondary, in my opinion. Find a way to win games. Then the players will have that confidence. Then garnish the style, garnish the approach with some style, some flair. Yeah, take it from there. But first of all, win games. We are more open, but we can create a more going forward. It's still short of a striker, in my opinion. I agree. But the question I will always ask is this, and Mitch is still typing in the chat, what sort of strikers should we be looking for?
Coach, can I tap in a few arguments? I really have to go very quickly.
Yeah, go ahead. I have to go. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah. See, if you ask me about the team, how it looks. So I made first point like a lack of experience, but there is some experience definitely in the back line, which is more experience. You have Reece James is a defender. Enzo is experienced. You can say young, yes, but a lot of experience is there. Thiago is experienced. Disasi is experienced, and that part of the team is working very well. In the sense, there are errors, yes, but they are not like huge errors. And if you look defensively, we have a structure. Build up in the midfield, we have a structure. In the forward line, we are playing like individuals, not as a team. And these are young talents, and they need to work together more, maybe, or lack of playing time, which you call also chemistry. But our forwards are also very young, very young. There is a lack of experience there. The only person with experience, you can argue, is Sterling, but he is also erratic, and his form is like, and sometimes he's like very good, and sometimes he's not so good. And that the day that clicks, we would be closer to a complete team. At the moment, we are not a complete team. Can it be faster? Probably. I mean, chemistry or working together, it's like, it's like team building. You have in companies, people go out, spend time together, start to understand, start to communicate more with each other, try to start to understand each other, start to make runs for each other, start to play together for each other. that is a little bit missing in the forward line, and this can come very quickly as well, because this is just like a button. Yeah, the moment it switches on, we will be a very good team. And Nkunku is experienced, definitely. Yes, adding him will bring at least experience. I don't talk about football skills, but the experience will be there. He's been through big matches. That will add definitely an advantage. And that's what you have to say. Poch was correct. I mean, he said at the start of the season when Nkunku was injured, we are missing an experience in the top area. We got Palmer, and he's good, and he's so mature for his age. I mean, he's really like he's a revelation. But the others are not there yet. So
All right. Anybody else? Go ahead. Go ahead.
So that's the thing, is like how fast can they be there, and is cuddling and supporting the solution? Might be. Is it like putting a little bit of more pressure, or is it maybe to try to give some as they say run of games together? Might be. Let us see. But that area is not finished article. It's very much far from the finished article yet. And hopefully, I think we have not done our businesses yet. We will add something maybe in the forward line, and I expect some of them will also be let go.
All right, thank you so much. Since Roger is the goalkeeper's council administrator, he should be charged 5 cents every time Sanchez does a Beyonce panic tap dance. Okay, Roger.
That'd be broke.
I like that one. Let me see anything else I want to surround it for as soon as possible. Yeah, I gotta go take care of something. I get that a lot. Okay, you're having a conversation with Dante. I see that too, the die and everything, and you forgetting that you're 16, not 17. That's just 16 when you should be 17. Mitchell boy. Bobby is guilty of what Jerry Z just mentioned at times. Watch out for that. Okay, we'll find out. But we're all entitled to our respective opinions. More importantly, okay, they're having a healthy, you can say a health conversation, you can say lifestyle conversation right now. Thank you so much for that, brother. We appreciate that. Appreciate all your support. And couldn't have done it alone. It is Bobby, it is Roger, Rodrigo Rogers, Jerry Z, Mitchie Boy, JC, Tabejo, Ty, all of them, IBZ also, and plus Emperor, lots of people. So thank you for that. Michi also practicing. Okay, look at the sort of conversation they're having in the chat there. That's seriously hilarious. Let's see what else we have. Well, it shows the difference in standards between Chelsea and Tottenham, and things should stay that way. Yeah, we always beat them again. And before that game, I was subconsciously confident we were going to win them. If you still saw if you saw my post on X and also on the community tab, yeah, it's good too. Let's see what else we have here. Anything else? Certainly. And there's a significant improvement in the cognitive functionality. Okay, they're having a good conversation there. Again, don't involve me. Coach Chimera does have a good point. It must be made clear that none of us are pinning all our hopes on Jackson because he hasn't shown that a spearhead vibe, and the Haaland has shown yet. If you've been listening, I've always said Jackson will come good, but Jackson alone is not the solution. Jackson alone will not suffice. That's it. It's as simple as that. Please, when is Christopher Nkunku back? He's back, but not back on the turf, not on the grass, in the gym. Maybe today, maybe we don't know. In making sure Michi keeps a typing coach. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes are going up where they're talking pizza there, not right now. Not what is going on?
Oh my lord!
Oh my
funny.
goodness! Yeah, that's crazy. We simply have to address the cracks. I think we will. I think we'll sign players in January. We will lose games and scapegoat certain players. But have we? Okay, but have we realized it's we would be overreactionary after every loss? Yeah, but I'm quite sure a lot of our fan base we're learning to be patient a bit more. I think you're not seeing. Here's the thing: if we're being honest, we're not seeing lots of the negative boys on Twitter these days. because the only come out if we lose a game, and we lose woefully. Even the win against Tottenham, those that are complaining that much aren't really the negative gang. It's some negative, some positive people saying, just I don't know how else to phrase it, but I'm not seeing that much of the negative gang members on X these days. They're not talking much. But there's some, you could say, strong-headed ones that are still finding something to talk about. Roger, anything else you want to add before I get Mitch's final thoughts and Bobby's final thoughts, and we'll call it a day?
Yeah, I saw something a few days ago on the BBC, and it was to do with Chelsea and Frank.
Roger, just quickly, just answer this question on the screen, please. Sorry, if you don't mind.
Yeah, Coach, I have a question. Let's just say we beat City by maybe a single goal. Does this change anything that has been said today? Well, a lot's been said, and I've missed half the show. So
that's a very intelligent question. I think he's referring to the complaint that we didn't play well even after beating Spurs 4-1. So
well, you know what? It depends how we play also. But listen, we've played really well for the vast majority, 12 out of 14 games thus far, and we haven't come away with full points. And as Bobby said, and Mitchie has said before in his show, you know, winning ugly is part of a team season. It's a very long season.
Mhm.
And, you know, you can't play and have an amazing XG each and every week. So, yeah, I mean, no, it doesn't change anything. This is still a team in progress, and we need to realize that. But, it wouldn't hurt our bank balance with regards to points in the table. I mean, listen, we played and been a better team for all 4 of our losses. And where did it get us? 0 points. Our XG looks good, but guess what? No. So, yeah. So going back to what I want,
you can't just say with 2 games. You cannot just say with 2 games it changes anything. Yeah.
It's a small,
Go ahead, Roger, what you were saying.
It's a small, dare I say, sampling size. Let's see if Mitchie's paying attention.
God. Hashtag tap him.
Yeah.
Roger, catchphrase bingo. Tap it.
Yellow card, right? So what I wanted to quickly say was, I actually said it just to see whether you were paying attention, as I can see you. So
because you knew I was tapping in the old keyboard here.
So on the BBC a couple of days ago, I think it was Frank Lampard that was saying in an article that he actually wanted to get Real Madrid's number 5, but the board rejected that request. And I was thinking, wow.
Can you be specific? What player?
Who do you think?
Number 5, who?
For Real Madrid? So an English midfielder?
Oh, wow. Bellingham.
Yeah.
I was go ahead.
Really quite shocked about that. And if that is indeed the case, then I don't know. And I know we didn't have football, directors and so forth. We don't have the structure we have now. But what does that tell you about Maria then? Or it could have been a financial reason, but I don't think so. That was 4 years ago. So we could have got him for quite cheap, I believe. That doesn't mean to say he would be the same player who he is today. I understand that. I really do. But that gives you good insight, or lack thereof, actually.
And Chelsea isn't the club that had resigned him. He developed to be the dude he is today.
That's exactly what I just said. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
did I tap in? Okay.
Hashtag tapping.
but seriously though, the chances are that he'd still be a bloody good player, Yeah, and you're right. Maybe he wouldn't be the mature, and not just player, but individual also. Because when you're that young, you're still developing as a person. Well, you still do develop it even in your senior.
I mean, the only thing I'll say about that is, you win some, you lose some.
Of course.
I'm not a Marina fan by any stretch of the imagination, but to be fair, I mean, you could say that about Mbappe, you could say that about Musiala, you can say that the list goes on of players that could have been at Chelsea, sort of flirted with being at Chelsea. We almost went to buy even Messi himself. 2014, he would have been a Chelsea player.
Yeah.
So
No,
I
I
think it's
get
just
it,
the one
Bobby.
that got away, sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I get it, but you get my gist though. It's like after
Oh,
reading
absolutely.
that, it was a bit of a lump in the throat. I'm like, wow.
Well, it looks like my alarm is blurring. I'll be back.
Uh,
Go for it.
Yeah, to save him a bit of time because he's probably want to get away. What I want to talk about is it's not just about results for me. You know, results are important. We want to win.
Yeah.
But what I'll say is I enjoy watching the football. And we've got some fantastic players out there, Roger. I'm enjoying our actual gameplay. Now, I want us to defend better. We criticise all the things that are going wrong. We do talk about these things. But also, let's talk about the fantastic play of this Palmer boy. Let's talk about the progression of Gallagher. You know, he's playing better, which is a good thing.
And
Because
Cucurella.
the worst that can happen is we're going to get 50, 60 million for him. He's going to improve his value. Now, I think the way this model is, we are going to move on some of these players. And I've been resigned to this for a while because I didn't want Mount to go, for instance.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. And it's part of, you've just got to understand the parameters of the way the model's going to be. We're going to bring in big talent, big prospects, you know, world, all around the world. We're scouting the best players and we're trying to get them to come to Chelsea. Now, this project, for it to work long term, these boys have to know they're going to come here and get a chance. Now, in the past, the young boys at Chelsea have not always got a chance. So that's what I'm saying. The environment has to be good. Now, the only thing we've got to do as fans is stop the toxic sort of environment. But that's a big challenge because I'm a bit older, I'm a bit more level-headed about things, but in the fan base, it's a bit reactionary. And how do you sort of like collectively get all these different peoples from all around the world, you know, to sing off the same hymn sheet? We are fractured, and we're probably always going to be fractured, Rogers. So I'm not deluded about that. I don't think I can be positive and turn everybody around. I'm just going to try and reach as many people as I can. And I'm only a small account, but I try to talk positively, and that's all I want to do. I just want to help. I don't see the point.
We are all still small, but I think we will make a huge impact if we work together. If we work
You're
together.
right, though. Our future is bright for sure.
Mhm.
I mean, hands down.
Yep.
And I think the last part I want to make, Coach, I'm sorry, you're probably trying to get away. The last point I want to make is we are setting ourselves up. We are setting ourselves up for the future, whereas all these clubs are about to have a bit of a problem because of financial fair play, because of sustainability laws. They're going to all have to cut their cloths. And they've all got players that are in their 29, their 30, their 31 or whatever, and they're going to be snookered because they're not going to be able to buy in the players, you know. So if we do buy in the right players and they improve in the future, we're going to be set up for the next five years at least, you know. So it's looking good. The future's looking good. The problem is the now. People are not liking the now, Coach. That's the problem.
Yeah, thank you so much. Sorry, guys, I had to run to go shut off, disarm the alarm. My mom opened the back door. Yeah. And I was going, what's going on? Because I had this on. That when I took it off, I heard it. I knew that was the case. Coach, I have a question. Okay, I think we've answered that one. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Yep. And you could also say we have a fair. Is it called fair weather fans? In some cases. Well, we would need to play well in order to beat City. Not necessarily, but play well. You can, I mean, you can call it. Yeah, you can say that we need to play well to beat them. But let's see how that goes. What gives me confidence is they're one of the big sides. They're not going to defend deep. We just have to be clinical more. To be more specific, we'll have to take our chances when we get them.
And eradicate mistakes.
And eradicate mistakes. Yeah, because if we give them chance, what did I do to Michi Boy and Gang in the chat today?
I'll tell you what, though, this is a fantastic chat. They all make good points. It's good conversation. It's a chat that's actually worth reading. You know, I actually enjoy reading your chat.
Yeah. No, good conversations are going on in the chat there. And no way, Roger said sample size. Yep. Roger, our execution, another Rogers language. Our execution has been bad, even from the Tuchel's days. There's something that we don't finish our chances for 3 years now. That's the truth. And Roger, when he doesn't say something that Roger likes to say is you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And I think I do say that now. But all were different players at JC. Not sure. Let's see. Mbappe was right there for the taking, and we didn't know. There's no way to tell he will be as good as he is today, in my opinion. And Mbappe, again, in my opinion, I don't think he's not the most technically gifted player. Let me just leave it at that. It's about pace, more importantly, to his game. He's a good player overall, but I don't think.
And he finishes well, coach.
Yeah, and his finishing. I think in some cases you could argue he's overhyped for how much PSG would want to sell him for. Cucurella was poor last game. Okay,
No,
that's how you see it. No,
really?
he has every right to see it like that, but I don't think he was poor. Mm-hmm.
No,
but go ahead, Roger, if you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I don't know what the panel thinks. I need to watch the game for a third time, but I didn't think Cucurella was poor at all. I thought he did some things quite well. Listen, you could point to virtually every player that played, just as in every game, that wasn't perfect. Let's be honest here, but I didn't think he made any mistakes. He certainly didn't go walkies on us like he did multiple times last year. He seems far more disciplined. No, I thought he had a solid game. I really do.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this. I respect your opinion, Supreme Court, but I think he did well, in my opinion. Yeah. I posted the question. Let's see people having conversations. We need to round up. The young boys also will have to know that they have to improve their ability. Yeah, I think they know that to have us to where we need to be. I think they know that. And they did say that. If you go read their comments, you see them, they mentioned that. They know it would take hard work. Roger, were you saying something? Sorry.
Are you talking about the team young boys or old boys? I'm just
kidding. Our team, the young boys, our team, the young kids we have. Yeah. I think they know, and they've mentioned about that. Bobby is the database of Chelsea history. Some of the events he witnessed, I only know them by virtue of digging into the history. My Chelsea journey only started 28 years ago. That's a long time. Well done, Bobby. Another man is Roger, Michi, even DJ, but you have to mention Max from Button Ballers if you're going to talk about that. And please, if you're watching, please go and subscribe to Michi Boy's YouTube channel. Please, let's help him get to 10,000 as soon as possible. He deserves that. Go ahead, Roger. Were you saying something?
Yeah, Bobby's been part of the furniture, basically.
Oh, yeah, he is. Yep. Part of the furniture, indeed. We cannot all be unrealistic. We need a new and an oracle to help us see the light. Okay, that's a good one. They should not be pampered too much. Yeah, if you pamper them too much, they will be spoiled. I agree with you. They must know that what's expected of them in order to win things and perform at the highest level. If that's not happening, then we need to learn. Let them know. Yeah, I think they will know. I think they already know. Mitchell is right. Those clubs of players will be up for contract renewals and the worst time in terms of the FFP cycle, and then we'll be good. Yep, I think I agree with you. Smart. Well, the point is beating City will require some top performance. Yep, I think I agree with you, but you agree my answer was smart too. Let's see what else we have. Coach, are you saying that Mbappe is Gallagher with season? That's the thing. Mbappe, more importantly, his pace is the most important. He's the most important attribute. Honestly, in my opinion, he's not really the most technically gifted, but he can only get better. We'll see where he gets as a player. Roger 124 is a vampire. Yeah, like the pastor Stalin, get bitten by Poro twice. I was not impressed, but I respect your opinion. Yeah, that's why we're here, to express our respective opinions and learn from each other. But Poro, whoa, I'm glad we didn't sign that guy. I think it's looks like an arrogant player, as good as I think he is. Is Stalin getting banned? We don't know yet. Kalito mentioned it over Twitter. Rumors are no, he threw the what's it called, the Tottenham fans threw something onto the pitch, and he picked it up and threw it back at them. We've discussed that at length, and we agree that he should know better.
I missed that, Coach. I didn't know you were live. I missed the start of your show.
Ditto. Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully, again, it will be just fine because we need him as much as I know a lot of people will be praying. Hopefully, he gets suspended so other players.
Hashtag
I don't
Roger.
know. I don't, but I don't think Roger will go to that extent. I'm quite sure.
No,
Even though he would rather someone to start over him, I'm quite sure he's not going to go to that extent. So I want to say thank you to everyone. I think we've come to the natural end of the show. I got to run, help my boy get ready for school. And then I hope that we do an evening show today. I want the evening show to continue and the Blue Morning show to continue. Hopefully I'll find help. And the Blue Alliance will be coming back with Mitchie Boy. More importantly, will be part of it with new format. I think we should be going by one every week, one of the 4 should I call it participants host. Next week another participant host in each channel, but we're not going to be streaming simultaneously. I think that could be problematic. I don't know. I have to ask Gogo. But I want to say thank you to Mitchie Boy, my friend and bro. Thank you for joining us. I want to say thank you to Roger. Thank you to Bobby, who was here. Thank you to JC, who was here. And thank you to Jerry C, who was also here. I appreciate you. And thank you to Constantine Dante. Much love to you. Thank you to Jerry. And thank you to the one and only the Blue to forgive. Love you so much, brother. And thank you to Supreme Court. Thank you for finding the time to join us today, brother. Much love. Oladipo Mesole Jude, my bro. I appreciate you. Anybody else? If I miss your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all. And bye.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Donkey.
Donkey.